choices you made, did you make them again, 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 again? All the lies that you told, did you believe in them? All the choices you made, did you make them again, 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 again? All the lies that you told, did you believe in them? Again, 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 again.
Choices you made, did you make them again?
camera, holy shit.
Hello.
Alright, so should I leave so long or?
You can just chill.
Okay, okay.
Maybe introduce you, yeah.
Alright, dope.
Spartan will introduce you, don't worry.
Okay. I don't mind, I know lots about you. So.
All the choices you made, would you make them again?
was my first and last mistake. I'm blue without your face. But what can I do? 'Cause I'm just a sinking ship, and you're just a pair of lips that I've lost in the moment. All I want is for you to come back. Now I'm caught in the middle of life, and I need you to survive. Whoa, I need you to survive. Without you by my side, I can't survive. And this can be the end. I won't just settle for being your friend. A broken bond is not too late to mend. But what can I do? 'Cause I'm just a sinking ship, and you're just a pair of lips that I've lost in the moment. All I want is for you to come back. Now I'm caught in the middle of life, and I need you to survive. She said, boy, I want you to walk right, so I can give you one more chance. You're only living in your damn head. Without you by my side, I can't survive.
Hello and welcome everybody on this Tuesday evening. Almost said Monday. Um, Today I will be joined once again by Jan, SpartanX, van der Westhuizen. Jan, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to know that I still have a voice after last night's game. A little bit of craziness happened there, but hopefully we get to see more of that today.
Yeah, and for those of you that didn't catch the game between DSG and my brain
Trooper.
and Trooper last night, that was a 1-1. I'm actually really struggling with these team names today. But that's old news. Now we are moving on to ATG 0 versus Error Lost Time. Spartan, what do you think?
Well, it's very interesting, right? So first of all, and this is something we spoke about a little bit already, between me and you, is when you look at like the standings in Prem, okay? Era last time ended 8th, and ATG 0 ended first div without dropping a game. So with Era last time ending 8th, you would expect them to make top 4 in their group because that's how the seeding should work out. But then you're looking at ATG Zero, who went undefeated, and they can maybe play spoiler to the side of Era Lost Time. And that again, I think we're going to see. There's a close matchup. But they have played each other before, and we might see something like last night where it can be a draw. But for these two teams, this is a crucial game for them to end in that top four, so they can go through to the winners bracket, basically, or the upper bracket in the next stage.
Yeah, and I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, you did say to me earlier that both of these teams have kind of been revamped, so to say,
Yeah.
before. And they have, I think, met each other once before, and that went 2-1. I don't know exactly who
Yeah.
won that game.
So previously, Era lost time lost to ATG Zero, but it was different teams. Now we see people like Boba Sagan's was picked up for this team, and for the other team, you have Grom being picked up. They have a new support as well. Um, so the teams have been revamped. It's gonna be a lot about who kept the identity the most, and a lot goes into like what your identity is and with your core players and your synergy. ATG Zero have three of their players that have played together for a long time. Inflection, Slave, and with Away Sunbear. And it's going to be very important if it goes like the games last night, where it's two very long games. And you have that it's tight, it's close, it can be one fight to win it. Maybe that synergy can pull them through. But talking about roster changes and all of this, let's bring in our interview for tonight. Boba Sagan's the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, guys, what's up?
How you doing tonight, Boba?
I'm doing good, doing good. I'm pretty hyped for the game actually. Been looking forward to it, and like you were saying, this is a pretty important game for us and ATG Zero, definitely. Like
Yeah.
ending in the like top four of the group.
Yeah, and you guys made it a little harder for yourself since you went 1-1 with the League of
Yeah,
Legends team.
definitely. Mm.
So now, from here on out, you guys can't really be dropping games, and that does put some extra pressure on you. And as you said before we started this interview, this is your first time actually playing like in
Yeah.
these type of championships. Previously, you were in second division, and after massive showing at the COVID clash, you got picked up, and this is your first time. Like, are you feeling any extra pressure or any
Oh no,
added
definitely. Yeah.
stuff? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I was actually looking forward to the live event. If it were to happen, I just kind of wanted to meet everyone and like go on stage and stuff. But I'm actually really enjoying this, and I think that the setup of the tournament is it's really good, and it gives everyone like a chance to kind of like show themselves and stuff. But yeah, I did only start the like in the VS scene this year. I started, I think, first leg, second div, second leg, first div, and then I just finished the leg of Prem, and then now we're in finals, so pretty stoked.
I've been pretty fast.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty impressive, I won't lie, to climb that fast in such a short amount of time, to be absolutely honest. Even though some people might not think it's a huge accomplishment, it just really is. To get all the way to Prem in like 1 year of playing is not even 1 year of
Yeah.
playing. It's quite
Yeah.
impressive.
Very much.
And yeah, I've kind of like stuck through with Era as well. I started with Eternity, and which is basically like the lower team. I would kind of say I'm in like the second team now. I played for last time 2 legs now,
Yeah.
and yeah, I've stayed true to my roots so far. Just been an Era.
Okay. Well, you've been known to be very dominant in the top lane in the COVID clash. We saw that, and we saw that in Prem. Like, you weren't just getting bullied or getting, beat over in top lane like a lot of these top laners do when they come into Prem. They go up against the likes of YOLO Pete, Jetlas,
Mm,
Targa. Suddenly, all of a sudden, you're like, okay, cool. These aren't first div top laners anymore. These guys can spank you if you don't know
yeah,
what you're doing, right? But we saw you doing very well. But you're playing against a West Sunbay tonight who, if anything else, he's very consistent. He
yeah.
plays a little bit more of a tanky role, a little bit more of an engage heavy role for his team in that front line. But going up against him, how are you feeling? Are you feeling confident? Or are you feeling like, okay, cool. This guy, also, he has been at a finals too. So,
Yeah.
he has that experience on his back and behind him.
No, definitely. I'm definitely looking to play like the best that I can. And actually in my team, I don't really play like a main tank role. Like our roles have kind of switched. like with the roster changes and everything. I wouldn't say that I'm not down to play tanks, of course, but yeah, I'm just looking forward to the match, and I actually haven't played him before, so I'm like super stoked for that.
Yo,
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna get like a role swap there. I thought I was
No,
a
no, no.
role swap or something. I was like,
Yeah,
we have some players that play Renekton mid.
mid, yeah.
I like
Yeah.
seeing Renekton mid, so you never know. Might come out. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. So like also going into this, obviously you guys want to end like top four in your group.
Mm.
But you know what? In the overall like look at it, you guys have played GG and you lost 2-0 against them. You know, playing up against Targa, also very experienced player. But like what is your goal like of let's say you end fourth in the group hypothetically. How far do you guys do you see yourself going in this tournament? Do you think you can end top four overall, maybe a top six? What like as a team, what is your goal so for the tournament?
Yeah, so we've kind of been changing up roster as well. Like right before the finals, we added Young Zinc, we added Ares, and we added Era Apollo, which was Hextech Spartan. So like we did like
Ah,
quite a lot of like roster changes and stuff. So we're still kind of like piecing together the team, like still building up synergies and stuff. I definitely have like really high expectations. I want to end top eight.
yeah,
But like the first goal, I'm kind of like taking it one step at a time. But I just want to end top four in our group, like from now. But like definitely, I think that the main goal is to stay like top eight in the entire tournament, hopefully. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
No, definitely. And that's very possible. Like where you guys finished in the leg as well was top eight. So it's very possible you guys can even like push it further. And you guys are looking like a team to deal with or to reckon with. You know, you can't just show up lazily and take you on. You have to do your homework and actually, you know, prepare for you. Alex, do you have a question?
I actually was going to ask you. Obviously, we've already seen a League of Legends team play against Evo, who I would have to say is one of the two biggest contenders in this group.
Mm.
But I also did happen to just mull over the results and see that ATG Zero also played them, also went down 2-0, and you guys managed to draw to a League of Legends team. And in the first game between Evo and a League of Legends team, there was actually like a little bit of life in that game. Like
Yeah.
barring the bot lane getting destroyed, the
Mm.
rest of the lanes were actually panning out quite well for a League of Legends team. So are you guys more confident knowing that ATG Zero have already lost a game? They were undefeated, cool in first div, but they've already come out, got 2-0'd by Evo. So I mean, your confidence must be almost a little bit up to know that you drew to a team that was close, sort of, or in a little bit of contention with one of the top
Yeah.
dogs in the group.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't know if you guys ended up watching the games last night, but like, it was a clown fiesta and a half. So, yes, I think there were like two 40-minute games. I think the one was like 47 minutes. It was just back and forth constantly. We actually ended up throwing game one pretty hard, but
Mm,
a LoL team played really well, and they really had a good showing. Just looking forward to tonight. I think we're gonna do pretty well. Hopefully, you know, gotta
yeah,
keep the
perfect.
confidence up. Yeah.
You have to. Perfect. Thank you, Boba. We really appreciate you coming to talk to us. If you guys win, we might even talk to you afterwards. We'll see.
Hopefully,
But
hopefully. Yeah.
yeah, but good luck in the game. Hope you have all the best RNG. We're gonna let you get back to your team and
Cool.
discuss whatever you're gonna do in pick and ban. We will be watching.
Cool.
So good luck, and we'll see you on the rift.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for everything. Good luck with the cast.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah. So
Perfect. So he's looking confident, and like you mentioned, like he felt they might have thrown game one against the League of Legends team, and that is for them that can be very bad because now you're looking at a situation where you can't make any more mistakes. You know, you have to beat these other teams, and you know a slip up against a team like a lot lower can make it a lot harder for you. But these two teams, I feel like they're way more evenly matched. I think we're gonna see a lot of what we saw last night, where ATG Zero is gonna focus heavily on bot lane and get Slave going, get him a Vayne, get him something that can carry, and get him like rolling and just running over the team like we saw Trooper did yesterday with their AD carry. And then I think that Era Lost Time, they might have a more balanced approach, maybe activating Boba Sagan a bit, get him on something that he's comfortable with, that he maybe can like go toe to toe with the way Sunbay and punishing like Sunbay for playing these tank type things top lane. So it's gonna be very interesting to say the least.
Yeah, and I think just taking a quick look at the groups, we do see the two top dogs of the group
Mm.
already. In Group B, Evo and Royalty both winning their games. Evo going 3-0, Royalty going 2-0. Obviously, these two teams haven't met each other yet. I'm not entirely sure when they will be meeting each other. I do think we are casting that game. I hope we're casting that
I
game.
hope so too. Yes.
Um, I think the setup for this tournament is very different. It's a lot more kind of chilled and relaxed. Yes, you do want to sort of play for your position in the group so you don't get put straight into the like sort of lower brackets. But at the same time, like if you do drop a game here or there, it's not the worst thing in the world. You always still have a chance. You know, it's not just like once groups have ended, you're gonna get spat straight out. And I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of pressure on teams that are sitting at the bottom of the bracket without a draw, without a win, without a point to their name. That can really build up a lot of pressure for them, and that can cause a lot of struggle when it comes to like fighting out for these lower places.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think
Definitely, like you mentioned, right now a lot of these teams are like, okay, cool. We just don't want to be ninth. If we're ninth, our tournament life is done. We are gonna just be watching the games. So you don't want that. But then again, you have to look at it. If you get from 5 to 8, okay, for some teams they're like, cool, this is fine. We go to day 2, we go into the lower bracket, and we still have a chance to get back to that upper bracket. But for the teams like Era Lost Time, these Prem teams that ended pretty like decently in Prem, you have to think for them it's like we need to get in upper bracket just to give ourselves a chance. Because all of a sudden, now you're going into lower bracket, something happens and like a team like let's say Era Lost Time, or not Era Lost Time, sorry, Era Millennium, or GG Black or Evo or Royalty or ATK gets knocked out by another top team, and now you have to face them in your lower bracket first game. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, okay, now we don't have a chance. Whereas if you go to the upper bracket, you face one of these teams and you lose, you drop down and you just play through the lower bracket, and it gives you another form of life. So yeah, I'm just thinking that that's probably what is going through these players' heads and what they're gonna play hard for.
oh, awesome. Well, I think we've pretty much covered everything we really need to at the beginning of this game. I think we just need to
Hmm.
wait for the players to all get ready. Hopefully Kyle can potentially play a little bit of music, and we can get this game underway very soon. I don't know if you have
Yeah.
anything else to say.
No, stick around. Hopefully we get a game exactly like last night. A little craziness. I liked it.
Yo, I don't know if my throat can handle something like that, or if
It was a lot of fun.
or if my neighbors will enjoy it.
There's no music, but I don't
you that are just joining us today, we are casting the game between ATG 0 and Era Lost Time. Era Lost
Yep.
Time will be playing on the blue side, and ATG will be playing on the red side. We do see a Nunu ban and a Tristana ban coming out very, very quickly. Nunu
okay.
being a band away from from Flexion.
Yeah. Flexion, he had that highlight in the hype up video, you know, with the Nunu, so they're like, no thank you, don't want to deal with that. He is a menace on Nunu, and he's very comfortable on the champion. As well as Vayne, it's something that we said in the pre-screen or the pre-interview. Slave, extremely comfortable on Vayne, and you don't want to give him that, because maybe something like last night happens where the Vayne just completely takes over.
Yo, I don't need flashbacks of last night. Are we banning all the 80 carries, guys? Is this
Yeah,
this
no 80
strat?
carries. No one's gonna
No
play
80
80 carry.
carries. I'm assuming red side gonna ban Caitlyn.
They should ban Caitlyn if they have the right read here, because otherwise, I'm guessing Era last time just first pick Caitlyn here. No, it's a Kiana ban. Expecting a Caitlyn first pick here, and then it's gonna be like, what do you play into it? Do you? Yep. You can play Senna and you can play Jhin into it.
I
That's
mean, you
the
can
process.
also play Israel into it, but the interesting
Yeah.
thing is they did take away the Yumi,
Wukong.
so you can't even Israel Yumi now. But they did get a really powerful top lane in the top lane.
Yep, and Wukong is a very contested pick. Boba Sagan plays it, and a Westhuizen Bear plays it. So now it's like, okay, cool. It's not just a power pick for us, but it's also a takeaway from you. And Wukong can also be flexed.
I was just about
So-
to say, after what you said in the pregame with Aware Sun Bear's sort of proficiency in tanks, do you really think he'll be playing the Wukong in the top lane, or do you
Well,
think
he-
it might be a flexion pick?
He has a lot of games on Wukong. It is one of his top 3 play champs. So the nice thing about the Wukong is it can be flexed. I'm not a huge fan of picking Jhin here, just because they've already shown the 80 carry, they're not going to pick Jhin. Maybe take away support, something like Morgana, which goes well with Caitlyn. Something like Lux maybe can be very strong. We've seen that combo being, yeah, and there's the Morgana. See, now now you're sitting in a very awkward position. Jhin Karma can do okay against Caitlyn Morgana, but also not very great. Caitlyn Morgana is just very oppressive. You get hit by a Dark Binding, you're under half HP level 2, and it's just not a fun time. So you don't ever want to be in that position. So I think it's a little bit of a misread from ATG there. And Mordekaiser, okay, they're not playing around. Boba Sagan is very proficient on Mordekaiser. It's something we saw him play in the COVID clash a lot, and kind of what made him a quote-unquote famous in the scene is his Mordekaiser play. So if he can take over this game with that, you know, it's very likely, and it is a very strong pick. And then Soraka.
ATG just kind of deciding that they're rather going to try weather the storm here, picking the Soraka pick, and just kind of like, you know, they know they're going to get pushed and they know they're going to be taking a lot of damage, so picking Soraka. So hopefully they can just sort of, you know, survive through all the damage.
Silence
being
ban,
taken away.
okay.
I find that interesting considering the fact that there is already a melee top laner. I mean, I guess it is double range in the bot lane, but I feel like another melee champion in the mid lane. Clearly, the mid laner does play a lot of melee champions, with Kiana being taken away and Silas being taken away.
Yeah, and this is the power of the Wukong pick, of flex picks, right? Now Era Lost Time is like, cool, we don't know where that thing's gonna go. It can go jungle, it can go top lane, it can even go mid in some cases. So now they ban out the volley bear. I'm expecting maybe to see something like a set ban here, or maybe an Ornn ban, because they don't know if the Wukong's gonna go top necessarily. Set can be played in the jungle, can be played top as well. It just makes it easier for you to have multiple good lanes. Or they might just pinch something in mid lane. No, a Trundle ban. So they're like, cool, we know this Wukong's going top. Where's Sunbear's going to play it? So we're just going to pinch the jungle pool.
Yeah, and that's 3 junglers being taken away already. Well, technically 4 if you remove the Kayn as well.
Yeah. So I'm expecting something like they jungler here, so they show, okay, cool, this is where everything's going. Or they still might not. And then, no, they're just going to pick the mid laner.
Are you sure? It could still be a top lane, Lissandra.
Can be a top lane Lissandra. I'll be very surprised if it is. Lissandra, I kind of like it. It gives you a lot of team fight prowess. And right now they have a lot of team fighting. But yeah, overall, if you just take the team right now, I'm kind of favoring Era Lost Time's comp. But ATG's comp is nothing to scoff at all. I'd just like to see something maybe a little bit more beefy coming out of them. Ooh, a Sejuani pick. They're going all out 2019 right now and saying, listen, like, meta hasn't changed at all. We're playing last year's comp this year. But Sejuani has been played in EU Masters, has been played in LEC. Lissandra's also been played a little bit here and there. I think it's been played in the LPL. Mordekaiser's been picked. Ooh, Lucian mid. Yeah.
Lucian moved into Lissandra. That's quite a brave pick, all considering, you know.
Singed. No, that's troll. There's no way they pick Singed. No, I'm like, I can't.
Why you got a head on the mad scientist?
I just like it doesn't make sense. There's the sets, okay. I'm surprised that they didn't take away the sets. When I saw the volley ban, I expected the set ban as well. And looking at comps, that set just rounded out ATG's comp very, very nicely. And that will be, I think, a top lane set. Yes, that would top lane set and Wukong jungle. So again, showing the power of the flex pick. No, and then they swap it around again. I don't know if they're listening to the cost, but stop doing that so we can talk. But yeah, both teams' comps, I kind of like it. The Lucian mid into Lissandra doesn't look great. But other than that, they have both pretty good comps. I don't know what you're feeling.
I definitely think Lissandra sets up set for a very, very easy. They are gonna swap, right? Oh, they're not in order. Sorry.
Yeah.
My brain was totally broke. I was like, Morgana jungle definitely not gonna do well into this comp with Lucian support. But so as I was saying, I do think that Lissandra does set up really well for Set in this situation. I think the fact
Mm.
that Sejuani is picked with a obviously 80 melee top laner also really awesome, really
Yeah.
easy. Lucian also very, very proficient
Mhm.
in ganking. I'm just a bit concerned that like we see on one side we have Error Lost Time have a brilliant team for kiting. They
Yeah.
have a brilliant team for stalling out. Mordekaiser is able to take someone to the death realm. Morgana, Caitlyn, Lucian, they can set up around the person. They can kite around the edge of the team fight. Sage is a kind of like it feels like there wasn't anything else that they could really pick.
Mm.
In my opinion, like there must have been. I feel like quite a lot of other junglers potentially could have done a better job than Sejuani in this sort of situation. Whereas you look at the other team on the other side with ATG, they've got a really, really all-in comp, and I feel like this
Mm.
can be quite risky against a Morgana and against a Mordekaiser and against a team that can just peel back. So I feel like this whole entire game is going to come down to execution. I mean, I know people say that often,
Yeah,
but
well, that's often the case if you're picking stuff like this.
you know,
Yeah.
I just
So, yeah, go ahead.
I just think like the double AD comp sort of with Caitlyn and the Lucian, like it is very risky against these sort of champs that can just blow someone up, and I think a lot of prowess is going to be on the Wukong and on the Lissandra in this game. Like if I know Wukong has sort of been changed, so he's less of an assassin and more of a bruiser, but he can cause a lot of disruption. But really, this Lissandra getting on key targets is
Yeah.
going to be a very important factor, and I'm going to be really interested to see whether these two AD carries do decide to build a cleanse item or take cleanse when we get out of champion select, because we saw that in the last game that I was like, I know the Vayne ended up carrying the game, but I was like, we really need to see a cleanse that would have saved at least one or two of the team fights. So I'm really hoping
Mm.
no one gets beaten by the shopkeeper this game.
Yeah, no, definitely. And looking at ATG's comp, right? It it's simple and tough to pull off at the same time. But just imagine any fight where the Jin can open up with curtain call, and you have stuff like Wukong, Set, Lissandra just flanking. Set or Jin can open up from a long way. He can hit them, slow them down, and they kind of gonna be left to struggle. Now, yes, you can kind of get out, but Morgana Black Shield can Black Shield one person. Mordekaiser can take one person to death realm, and then it's like, okay, cool. They just pick off whatever's left. And when you see Lissandra go in with Claw, hit the E, wait on to see who's going to be black shielded, and then hit that big ult on people or the set and with the Wukong knockup. There's a lot of good parts of ATG, but like you said, it's the burden of execution is way more on them than I feel like on the side of Error Last Time. I feel like Error Last Time is a winning bot lane, and I feel like they don't have a winning jungle matchup, but they have a winning bot lane and a winning top lane. And mid, it's going to come down to jungle proximity because Lissandra can easily set up for the set to come and gank the solution, who is running cleanse. So that's at least good. But yeah, it's we'll have to see.
I'm very interested to see how Boba Sagan plays this Mordekaiser because like a well-timed death realm can kind of stop the entirety of Grom's engage on the Lissandra, and I think that's
Hmm.
something that can literally sway an entire team fight. Like if the Lissandra claw goes in and she gets put into the death realm, none of her damage is going to go off, especially since she has such a high amount of AOE damage, and a
Yeah.
lot of Lissandras tend to E in and automatically ulti themselves, and if they get targeted just before that, that's a lot of damage that's not going to land.
Yeah,
So
I just favor Era's draft here because like let's say something does get out of hand, they can't deal with the Wukong hypothetically, right? Then it's just like okay, cool, Bilbo, just ult the Wukong if he tries to do anything. If he tries to come in, just ult him, make sure that he doesn't deal with it. And now you're looking at a fight which is very hard for ATG to win because you got CC, but like you have a lot of losing matchups.
awesome. We're just gonna quickly get synced up, guys. It's gonna take a
Yep.
few seconds. I'm at 10 seconds. How about you, Spartan?
So I am.
Okay,
I'm as
cool.
well, but I don't know why I said so I am.
Just gonna quickly round up all
Everybody
my
in chat,
questions.
spam Era or ATG. Who you guys think is gonna win game one? And I'm excited. Let me just get everyone in order as well. I like this Caitlyn Morgana. I feel like that was very well drafted. Mordekaiser. Yeah, the Lucian. You replace that with something maybe like a Ziggs or something. That kind. In my opinion, could probably be better. But other than that, yeah, I think my vote is going to Era. What are you thinking for the draft?
I'm gonna count it down quickly, and I'll give you my thoughts as soon as we get into play.
Okay,
Okay, cool.
hit us.
So, 3, 2, 1, and go.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So I do really like Eris kind of comp here, but I do think looking at ATG's comp, I really like the fact that it's not the same as what we saw last night. There's not a lot of counter synergy sort of in this team.
Yes.
I feel like provided Flexion goes in first or where Sunbear goes in first, I feel like these team fights might be very, very easy for ATG to pull off. And I think
Yeah.
because of the AoE, if the Mordekaiser, especially with sort of like the proficiency we see or the lack thereof proficiency in TPs that we've seen from top laners recently, I really think that ATG running this double TP comp and with the ability for them to just pull the trigger instantly have a huge advantage in this game, especially against squishy champions like Lucian and like Caitlyn. I think after we get out of laning phase as well, things might get a little bit more difficult for them because depending on how Bishop roams around the map, a clutch Dark Shield can also be absolutely massive in this game. So there are tools that, if played correctly, are
Yeah.
going to seriously help Era sort of water down and kite out these fights. But if they're missed, the whole team fight can go wrong. And I've said that the same thing about the Mordekaiser ult. It's all going to be about
Yep.
timing and execution in this game.
100%. And it's all, in my opinion, it comes a lot down to Flexion, like you mentioned also. But it's going to come down to Flexion's work rate in early game. If he's not, like, getting these losing lanes that they have ahead, his team is just going to slowly lose just because they have weak matchups. Now, Jin does well into Caitlyn. But again, them picking Jin on R2 instead of Morgana picking away this type of stuff or picking something like Lux maybe or anything to not give them Caitlyn Morgana, that is kind of mistaken. That makes their lane significantly worse. So, if someone individually pops off here, let's say where somebody gets ahead, gets super fed, yes, then it's a whole different, ball game again. And then it can become very tough for them to deal with, but they do have the death realm, so it just once again makes it tougher. Good trade, but he takes a tower shot.
And Boba Sagan's playing this lane really well. I think he's going to actually be able to get the freeze off, like, right off the bat. And
Yeah, and that's not great for the side of ATG or for away Sunbeam. You don't want to get frozen there. Sage, because it's a melee matchup in top lane, can be very tough. Ooh, bad trade. Bad trade from Young Zing there.
Botlane, yeah, botlane getting absolutely crushed by this Jhin pick at the moment.
Yeah, it has to be said that Slave is a very, very good AD carry. We aren't seeing him on something that he can that he prefers, like this late game solo carries type stuff, like his Vayne, which is very well known for. You said the Jhin, it's gonna be interesting.
Ooh, lots of
Good,
damage.
a lot of
Oh,
fight.
getting it taken.
Oh, take a cow shot.
Forced to flash away, and he's not even gonna need to flash after
Oh.
Zypherr. And first blood going over to Boba Sagan's, and Zypherr just making a mistake.
Yeah, and you know, that's again something. That's what a freeze sets up for you. Where's somebody feeling like, cool, I need to break this freeze. Wait, he's TPing back.
Oh, Boba Sagan's going very aggro into the minions. I think he's gonna die for this. He does still have flash up. Might actually be able to
A
break
lot of
it with
minions.
the minions. Mord passive is ticking. Tons of minions.
flashed.
Forced to flash away.
Ooh.
Dropping pot. Oh, the pot did manage to save him. I think it's Hunter's potion. Yes, it's a refillable
Yeah,
potion. Sorry, Hunter's
refillable,
potion
yeah.
is a little bit long ago.
Yeah, you're showing your age now.
Hmm.
You know, and you know it just shows. Sunbay wanting to break that freeze, but now he can't. And now he has to recall and run all the way back. But let's hope Flexion just picks up this wave, realizes, okay, cool. Someone needs to capture this wave, otherwise it's just lost XP. And that is something you don't
And
want.
It must
obviously.
be said, like, I really think that there was a little bit of a mistake coming through from Flexion. I know he wanted to clear his jungle early, but the minute Aware Sunbear managed to push that huge wave in, I really feel like Flexion should have entered in the lane instead of going straight for his scuttle and look to see if he could kind of help push out the freeze, if that makes sense, to reset
Yeah.
for the Wukong, so the Wukong didn't have to stand in that position. And Young Zing just walking up and just taking so much damage, getting 3 hits at the moment.
Yeah, and he's already low on mana, so this lane is
Ooh,
gank
Ares
in mid
coming
lane.
over the wall, Grom
Interesting gang.
trying to turn it around, a lot of damage going on to Sejuani. Where's Sunbear just getting pulverized in
Jeez.
the top lane?
Boba Sagan's saying, listen, you guys know what everyone's talking about because I can do stuff like this. And he's just like, he's hurting away Sunbay's feelings, and I don't like it.
I mean, I'm enjoying it greatly right now. The set is if he can potentially get a gank in the top lane. Boba Sagan does need to be careful. He doesn't have flash, but the set actually rather deciding to TP back to base.
Yeah, and you know, you already see a nice little lead there for Boba Sagan's, not only on the kill, but 12 CS lead, which adds up to 2 waves. If you don't count cannon. Oh, misses a minion.
Oh,
Feels bad. That was the
always when the
everyone
cast
saw
is
you.
watching. Always when the cast is watching.
Yeah.
Have a minion.
Oh, okay, you got that.
Got that
And
one.
then you know it's kind of even everywhere else. Like
Oh,
I was
Mordecai's
expecting.
Death Realm's probably gonna come out. Oh, I really thought you used Death Realm there.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It
Just
doesn't
deciding
protect
no.
you from the tower.
No.
Just in case anyone was wondering, you can't dive with the Death Realm on the tower. You will take turret damage. That would
Yeah.
be pretty busted though.
That would be nice.
That would be
But
nice.
also broken. It would be nice if you're the
Yeah,
Mordecai,
I
and
was
not
gonna
nice.
say, it's nice if you're the Mord.
But yeah, I was expecting like a little bit more of a lead here from Young Zing and Bishop in the bot lane, seeing as they have the better bot lane in my opinion. But Slave and Zamalek just playing it very well.
I feel like one thing people always tend to forget is they always look at Soraka and think immediately that Soraka is 100% only a healing champion.
Oh no, she can be obnoxious, 100%.
She can actually be quite oppressive, especially if you do max a star call early, which is what she is going for.
Yeah.
Especially if you are running like Scorch. I actually tend to find that if you max the silence early on the Soraka, it can also be very, very, very oppressive as well, but she does tend to run out of mana quite quickly from spamming that ability. But because
Yeah,
it's
and it-
needed, you can immediately poke down the Caitlyn. And
Yeah,
she
and you
doesn't have
can't
to-
really dodge it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'm gonna see them crash a wave here. They're trying to push it. Oh, okay, trap.
Jhin getting taken very
Auto,
low.
auto.
Auto? Ignite coming up.
There's the second
Die?
auto.
You gonna die? Directed camera doesn't want to let me know. But-
No, he'll be fine. He did blow heal in that engage. So heal and ignite expense in the bot lane. But you know that was, I think.
The
Oh,
first
I
one,
don't think. But if they, oh, another one.
Oh. Oh,
silenced.
oh,
He
no.
was silenced.
Oh, but he's gonna walk off this
Good
gang.
job.
Are they gonna get a turret plate for this? Set looking to come back. Set looking to flash. Flashing gonna go. No, he actually gets a
Promise,
showstopper
yeah.
off. Ooh, Lissandra's also there. Brilliant TP, and that's gonna be a double kill going over to ATG. I never saw
Yeah.
that TP even coming.
Yeah, you know,
Ooh,
you
a
have to
West Unbear
respect
looking to play with
TPs.
Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser pulls him back.
Cool.
A West Unbear forced to use the Cyclone to get away.
Yeah. And Bishop did that. He did some two nice dark bindings there. So, you know, if Young Zing didn't expense his Piltover Peacemaker early, before the binding hit, he could have had that extra damage on the trap. And I think that would have been a dead slave at that point. But it sounds so weird saying that.
A dead
But
slave.
yeah. But we're not going to get into it. I'm just saying it sounds weird. But yeah, so it's you know, ATG expensing a lot there, being like, okay, cool, you can't just overstay and disrespect the fact that we can be here. Era saw Flexion, thought, nah, we're safe, we're fine, even though it is post 6. But then they didn't expect at all the Lissandra coming in behind them, and that just made it even worse.
Oh, Boba Sagan still playing very aggressive in the top lane. And we do see Ares here, he was spotted out on a ward. We do see the set also roaming into the top lane. Lissandra missing out on a lot of CS now, opting to go for the bot lane teleport, and now looking to roam into the top lane. And they're not going
Yeah.
to find the Sejuani at the end of the day either, because he did decide to recall.
The problem is there's a lot of waves just being lost. Okay, well, Stardust did not know that he's not coming, so he did not just shove the wave. So he didn't lose that much, but you do see a 20 CS lead here for Stardust, being as he did not roam all over the map the way Grum did.
That's another tier. Oh. I mean, tier addition is not that bad.
Ooh,
But, oh,
Bishop.
flash. Rock binding? Was he lagging?
Okay.
He's gonna get snared up. You know,
Yeah. A
I'm
flash
not gonna be-
ult there is probably better.
I'm not gonna be the guy that bashes on every single person for building tier. Oh, we do see
Ooh.
ulti coming out onto the Ezra. Onto the
Cancel,
Ezra.
cancel your ult.
Cancel. Looking to see if he can trade it. I don't know if he's gonna get the kill. He's trying to fight with Flexion.
Oh.
Flex does have ulti up. Opting not to go for that. I think they took his bluff. I think they thought that Sejuani was near. I'm gonna see
Yeah.
Stardust going very aggro.
Yeah, they were just like, okay, I don't know why he's fighting us, but he seems too confident, you know?
Yeah, and that looked like a definite kill there.
He did blow cleanse, that has to be said, so potentially a regan coming in, or they should be looking at ganking him. But you just see Flexion leaving away Sunbay in the top lane, because you can't really gank Mordekaiser. You come up there, you think it's a 2v1, he brings one of you to the death realm, it's a 1v1, and then you're just sitting there waiting for your teammate to die. So, yeah, this stuff can be kind of crazy.
Well, I agree with you. We do see Board rushing the Landries as per normal.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm just like taken back by Stardust's sheer aggression. He didn't even use his flash in that off pitch.
He's not scared, dude.
He wasn't.
He's a real Lucian player. He's like, cool, I'll fight both of you. Said
Yeah.
you think you're a real man because you got big chest? I got moves, there we go. And he's just like fighting. And yeah, as we said, like this lead that is just coming in off a farm for Era last time. You know, they have what, a 30 CS lead in mid lane, a 20 CS lead in top lane. And that's why you're seeing like this, even though the kills are full, them fighting bot lane.
Direction looking to see if we can get onto Bishop. They are going to get the face break off. Morgana trying to turn it around with the Dark Change. Ooh! The Showstopper comes out onto the Sejuani, and Young Zink
TP.
is caught out. The TP is coming in. Young Zink manages to get Flexion, and the
Here
Maud
comes
has
Boba.
arrived. Is the Death Realm going to come out? Oh, he's looking for ATG Slave. Slave using
Oh,
the bush to his advantage. They can't get to Slave. Slave just kiting
Yeah,
out.
just
Death
getting
Realm
kited.
does come out. And he's going to try and cut Boba Sagan's. Boba Sagan's flashing onto Slave. Trying to
Don't
see if he
think
can
he
get
has
the
enough
final amount of damage off. Doesn't manage to land it. Does get the
Oh, he
hook.
gets it.
Does actually get the kill. Is he going to
He's
be able to
still
turn it
fighting.
around? He's still fighting away. Sunbear getting taken low. The shield comes out. He's supposed to flash away. Mr.
Lucian
Rocket
and
doesn't have
Lissandra.
mana either. And Lissandra comes
Oh.
in.
Lucian,
Ooh!
yo,
How is
that
Lissandra
was
so low? Did she meet Lucian in the river?
guessing so. I don't know. There was I was paying attention to this fight in the bot lane. That was crazy. Again, we see a team like yesterday with DSG and Trooper. They are like, we fight around this bot lane. Like, you think you TP in bot lane? No, no, no. We TP bot lane too. And we're not gonna let you just bully us there. And you know, it makes it crazy and it makes it crazy fun.
Yeah, I'm also really impressed with the fact that they decided to drop the Rift Herald in the mid lane. Although they didn't get the tower, they did get to inject Lucian with a little bit more gold. So he did manage to finish his Manamune already by 13 minutes. And the one thing I do like about that is now there's only one turret plate left, so it's going to be really easy for him to pick up another turret plate the minute Lissandra roams, because she is obviously looking to roam around the map more. And the minute that happens, she is going to get forced into a position where if Lucian freezes higher up, she has to come and farm without a tower behind her, and it is going to open up the map.
Ooh,
Ooh,
Bishop
Dark
hitting another
Finding
dog.
landing onto Bishop. Oh, on Flexion.
And that's a free Drake. Now, you're seeing the fact that Lucian has more CS, even though I'm the tower plays, even though Lissandra has a kill and 2 assists, Lucian's still up like 600 gold, alright? Or 500. And then the top lane is where the biggest discrepancy is, and that is also 600 now, but Boba Sagan is going to pick up a nice wave there. So that's where most of the gold disparity is sitting. So Flexion or Slave and Zamalek should feel pretty confident bot lane, even though Ares is there to come and ruin the party
But he
and
was
come and
spotted
gank
on
this
the
lane.
wall. He has been spotted on the wall, so they're just gonna play that.
Okay.
Ooh, aware Sunbear looking to see if he can get onto Stardust. Does use the Cyclone Flash, gonna come
Ooh.
up. Facebreaker missing. The culling comes out. Oh, if it was just angled slightly better, he could have potentially gotten the kill, but they did manage to force the Flash and the cleanse out again on the Lucian.
Yeah, I don't know if he needed to cleanse there. He probably thought that the Facebreaker was going to hit him. I'm not sure because it was like a step later.
Doesn't
Not
cleanse
100%
give you
sure.
a little tiny movement speed boost for...
If he's
No,
running Nimbus
what?
Cloak, yes, but I don't...
No, he's not. Oh, I have no clue. He shouldn't be running Nimbus Cloak. He should be running cookies
Yeah.
and all of that jazz.
He should be-
He should be running the cookies,
Ooh.
man.
The cookies and the other one.
The cookies and the time warp tonic, I think. That is the normal. I wish we could actually see what secondary masteries they're running. Is there a way?
And look how up he's playing. He's not scared of Grom at all. You know, and Grom
Oh,
is sitting
yeah.
on ult.
Run, misclick? Misclick? Let's use the stopwatch?
What? Are you ahead of me?
Am I ahead of you?
Oh,
I shouldn't
I'm
be.
at 42, 43. I didn't see anyone use stopwatch.
Grom used stopwatch in the mid lane.
The director
Eh.
camera took me away.
Clearly someone is not watching the game.
I am. It was just director camera took me away.
What do you mean? I only
She's
saw it in the
broken
corner
now.
of my screen.
Oh. No, I didn't see it.
Ooh.
I was looking at
Ooh,
something else.
Aristotle
Oh, Stardust.
taking a very aggressive trade. This tower should be going down. Meanwhile, Flexion flashing over the wall. The Hex
No
Blast.
cleanse,
They
no
are going to
cleanse.
lock him up. Frozen Tomb comes out and he's going to be a very dead man. They're going to leave him to live.
They
Ooh.
almost messed that up. Ooh, Bishop
Oh,
playing
meanwhile,
very up
Bishop
bot lane.
getting taken very low. He's just going to get absolutely annihilated. And in the top lane,
Top
Deathrom
lane.
comes out. Aware Sunbear. He's not going to be alive for much longer. And
Ooh,
can the
curtain call
Jin land all of the shots? Oh, Caitlyn
Flash.
flashed me last minute.
from Young Zing.
But first brick still going to go down in the top lane.
Yeah, and this Mordecai is just going to become scarier and scarier. Everyone's been in that game where you play the game out for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, you don't see the Mordecai's at all. The first time you see him, he takes you to the death realm and he puts you over his lap and just spanks you.
It just seriously pops you on the head, dude.
Yeah, it's just not fun.
Just
Even
like
when they're
Tank.
not fed, it's
Come on in.
just an anti-fun champ. I do not like it. Mainly because I play AD carry.
It's fun
Alright,
for the
it's annoying.
Mordekaiser though.
Yes, maybe I should just play Mordecai. I
It's fun for the
don't
Mord.
think I have enough hands for it though, to be fair.
Ooh,
Mid lane.
good. Gank onto
Ooh.
Grom, but that was perfectly timed claw just to escape.
Was probably just spamming E, being like, come on, please, please, please. And the stun just not long enough there.
Yeah,
I think if Ares just holds on to his auto, so he doesn't do the extra damage immediately, but it also doesn't break the stun, he might not have been able to E. But I'm talking under correction.
yeah, but they're just pushing for pressure.
Yeah.
Ooh, they do spot out Flexion. I don't think they're going to be able to get onto him right now. He will clear that ward, but that gives Aries,
of
a
info.
little bit of a lot of info, yeah. At the end of the
Yeah.
day. So, Jan,
Very
what are
com-
your thoughts on the
Yeah.
Mirror Mana on the Lucian?
Mirror Man on Lucian. Oh, I don't like it at all. Like, I know you want to be spamming and stuff like that, but like realistically, you shouldn't be spamming this much that you need a Mirror Mana. So, if there is an AD carry main out there that can explain to me why you build it on Lucian, then fine. But the consensus I've heard, and with the people talking to Vanzo and Kiddo and people like that, it is you either go the bulk build with what's the other thing that brings up
Essence
your ult
Reaver.
more? Essence
Essence
Reaver,
Reaver.
or you do the crit build with IE and crit items. You go one or the other depending on what you're playing against. I do not like this build on Lucian at all. I get it on other things like Ashe, just because it is more damage, sure. But with Lucian, you want to spike mid game, and now your spike is super delayed, especially because you're going that plus bulk. Your spike is just not great right now.
This is looking a little bit rough. TP coming through. Frozen Tomb going down to the Caitlyn. She's just going to get deleted immediately. Actually, she's going to heal. She's still alive. Meanwhile, in the pit, we do see the culling comes out. They're trying to turn around. Mordekaiser has come. I mean, he's just doing tons of damage. Meanwhile, they are trying to finish off the dragon. Can Ares get it?
Oh,
That's a double kill going into the Mord. This fight just erupted out of nowhere. I thought Caitlyn was going to die straight away, and that would be the end of it. But
that
Aaron
was
managed to turn it around.
yeah. That's a 3-for-1. Yeah, the only person they killed was Young Zing, and it looked pretty comfortable. It just looked like everyone got out, and people were maybe just a little bit outtraded.
Yeah, a little bit miscommunication there. I feel like one half of the team were like, we don't want this dragon, and the other half of the team were like, we're already committed, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And they did look very disjointed. It's like they didn't play to the condition of their comp. You know, the way they should be team fighting, their fighting lines just weren't realized. And these split fights with stuff like Lucian that can dash all over the place, and with things like Mordekaiser, heavily favors Era, opposed to where you want to fight as 5 in like a wombo combo situation for the side of ATG.
Yeah, and just that Mordekaiser 5-1-1 right now, 176 CS, just already has a 400 gold bounty, and it's starting to look really, really scary. Mord now finishing his Ryla's Crystal Scepter, as well as already having the not Morello's. The Leandries, yo, I don't know what's going on with me today. I can't remember item names.
Happens to the best of us.
That Mord is just so scary, and now he's also picking up the Bramble Vest to stop any of the AD carries really from doing any damage to him. As like he doesn't really seem to perceive the Lissandra as a major threat this game.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm just looking at these builds and stuff, and it looks pretty stock standard to me. And there's nothing that I don't know Lissandra builds, to be very honest. So that is, I don't know if that's what you go first. I would assume you go Ludens first.
Or you could potentially go Protobalt first. I know a lot of Lissandra players do go Protobalt and just immediately push out the wave. So I'm interested she didn't opt to go for that. But yeah, a little bit of a lull in the game right now. I thought something exciting would happen, but with all the towers basically down, all the outermost towers down for ATG, I feel like Era just sort of biding out their time, waiting to see if they can get another team fight.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is the one thing I will admit about Era's comp that I do kind of dislike, is the fact that you're kind of forced to either kite out a fight or look for a pick with either the Sejuani or the Morgana, and that's also super like it's super predictable, but you also have to have a huge amount of like zone control and vision control in order to pull those off. You know, using the fog of war correctly, grouping at the correct times around objectives, and just looking for a pick to kind of get the team fight going or to get something from the game. Because I think running at ATG right now might potentially be a mistake, especially if your Mordekaiser doesn't have TP. So they might just be looking to slow the game down enough for Mordekaiser to get TP back up again so that they can pick a fight.
No, 100%. and I would like to see them potentially putting the Mordekaiser, you know, closest to the buff, which they are doing. But I just realized, obviously, Lucian doesn't have TP, so you're gonna have to want him closest to the buff. And then your person that will have TP furthest from the next thing that you're gonna fight around, which is 1:20 to the next Drake, which is an Ocean Drake. Now, that being said, I did some research while you were talking on this Lucian build. Out of 10 Korean challenger players who play Lucian mid, one of them builds builds Manamune.
Ooh, Young Zink getting caught out
Ooh.
alone. Curtain call is going to come out
He's just
silent.
walking up.
He's trying to see if he can trade over Wolf Bash away, but right into
Ooh.
Flexion. Flexion's going to just get donated a free kill.
That feels good when you're set and you can just walk up and like, free. Thank you. And they
That
get
feels-
mid tower, and now they have all of the prior mid. And this can potentially make it a lot harder for Error Lost Time to contest this next Drake, which is up in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to look to potentially make a trade. Maybe look to force the Baron, or maybe look to make a play in the top lane using your Mordekaiser. But they might actually look to contest this Drake. We do know Boba Sagan does have TP available, and they do look
Yeah.
like they are grouping around this Drake in this preemptive fight. Or to
Yeah,
group.
and Boba actually just walking down. He's like, there is enough time. I don't necessarily have to, you know. And now you're going to see Grom, okay? He's going to be recalled. He doesn't know where the Mordekaiser is. So that makes it a lot tougher. But this is a very split approach. Caitlyn is a little late to this. I think by the time they get to this, Drake's just gone.
TP is coming through. They're looking to pick the fight. Set does manage to get the smite. They are looking to see lots of damage coming through. Cyclone getting onto the Caitlyn, or the Lucian, sorry. He's forced to dash away. They are going to kill away Sunbear. Bishop Zeta is going to fall. The Mordekaiser in the back of the team fight does manage to take out the Jhin. And they are trying to see if they can turn on to Grom.
Stardust?
There is Stardust flashing in. The Zhonya's does come out from Grom. He's going to see if he can potentially survive. Massive damage coming through from the face breaker, not the face breaker, the other one that I can't remember. What's wrong with me today? I'm getting very upset with myself, yeah.
Yeah, I can hear that. But it's okay. We all have those days. Don't worry. But that was, yeah, insane fight. And we just see Stardust playing very up. He's not scared to mix with these players and be like, listen, I'll play like 100 units away from your face. I'm not scared of you. And, you know, very well fought from Error Lost Time. It just feels like they know how to run their comp efficiently, right? They immediately run at them. Boba Sagan's like, cool, I got the backline. You guys just make sure the Wukong doesn't kill all of our backline, and then we got this. And, you know, this Mordekaiser just becoming more and more and more of an annoyance for the side of ATG.
Yeah, and I mean, Stardust also doing a lot of damage in that fight. It must be said, I do think he is now deciding to go for the Essence Reaver, and I'm not entirely sure if I agree with that either. I know we have been knocking his build a lot, but I mean, if he does pick up Quicksilver Sash, like we spoke about in the previous game, then he does have sort of an extra security blanket, as well as that extra magic resist that will stop him from getting completely blown up at the beginning of a team fight if it does happen to be him that does get focused. But yeah,
Yeah,
Aaron
right.
looking in the driver's seat right now.
Yeah, definitely. And it's up to ATG now to be like, okay, cool. Let's take stock. They've consistently beating us in team fights. What's happening? Sunbear and Flexion did a lot of work being in that backline. You can't really deal with the Mordekaiser, right? You need a QSS. You see Slave has a QSS now for that if that happens. But other than that, like, how are you going to deal with the way they fight? They have a very simple team fight. Mordekaiser annoys your whole backline, and the rest of the people kind of peel for your backline, right? So you have Stardust just dashing all over the show, Zinc and Bishop attached to each other's hip, and you even saw Ares there kiting with young Zinc and Stardust, trying to help them get away from Sunbear. So, you know, these fights are just looking like unwinnable, kind of, for the side of ATG.
I think the only plan that ATG really can make in this game is basically to try and pick off the Mordekaiser, because at the moment, with the way the team fights are going, the Mordekaiser is literally just running at the Jhin. If he manages to get the Jhin in the death realm, Jhin is potentially the only threat that Mord really has in these team fights at the moment.
Yeah.
because the rest of his team is just diving in after the 280 carries on the side of Era lost time. So if Mord can get on top of the Jhin, then there is a major problem. But I
He
do
does have
see this sort
QSS
of
now.
I do see this sort of shining light coming through for ATG, where they should be sending the Lissandra to side lane against the Mordekaiser, and instead of just side laning and neutralizing the lane, make a play on the Mord, pick him out while he's by himself. Lissandra's amazing at going in, eating the Death Realm. She can Zonyas, she can Frozen Tomb, she can sort of slow down the Mord, wait out
Yeah.
the Death Realm, and then kill him afterwards and repetitively punish him.
Definitely.
That's probably your easiest way to get back into this game instead of having these team fights where Mord comes in and creates absolute chaos
Yeah.
and just chases after your Jhin every single fight.
No, definitely. And I hope that ATG like have a plan. They keep sending away Sunbay to this to this lane to deal with Mordekaiser. Now I don't know if that's a bad read or if they just think that they can actually kill him. Oh,
Ooh, Grom getting
Ali
taken
comes
very
up.
low. Was expecting Aristotle to potentially flash afterwards, but he didn't have flash, so that definitely wasn't going to happen.
Ooh,
Ooh,
did that not hit him?
Didn't even it just missed.
That's
Flex-
very close.
Wow, Bishop taking a
Ooh.
lot of damage. Slave looking to see if he can get the curtain
Oh.
call off, but does decide to cancel it early.
Yeah, he just saw Mordekaiser walk at him. He's like, nah, look, don't worry, I won't do this. You know, and a lot of saving grace is going to go to Flexion. Flexion is looking pretty strong. He's on 2 completed items plus QSS and Executioners, which kind of slowed down his build. You know, that is a total of what, 2.1k that could have gone into a different item that he had to use on healing reduction and for the QSS for the Death Realm. So, you know, we're going to see if ATG can just realize how they have to
Ooh,
be
where's
fighting.
Thunder going in, getting onto Bishop. Bishop getting taken down to about half HP. He is forced to Zonyas. Here comes the Showmaker onto the Mordekaiser, but he's going to take out Flexion just before the Dragon fight. They are going to pick up Bishop Zede. The Frozen Tomb does come out onto the Caitlyn, but he is still going to stay alive. Mordekaiser chasing down Aware Sunday, but meanwhile, Soraka forced to flash away. Double kill going over to Boba Sagan. He's going to pull in Grom. That's going to be a triple kill. Oh, and in the meantime, I think Stardust just finishing off the Jhin in the background.
Yeah, and these fights are just coming all Boba Sagans right now. He's 9-2-5, 250 CS at 30 minutes. The guy is playing like a monster, and it has to be said, so is Zero Stardust. He's dashing around these fights, doing a lot of work. And then Ares, who hasn't even died, showing that he's super comfortable on this Sejuani pick. I do see he's busy building Warmogs, which is a bad buy. If we go look at Alice's videos, he should be going Locket here, in my opinion, which just gives you a nice little fatty shield and gives you a lot of resistance. If you look at international play, it's kind of standard for tank junglers just to go, not just tank junglers, but most junglers just to go Locket as a third item. So yeah, Warmogs on junglers apparently not very good anymore.
I do agree with the way LS looks at it, but in this game, for me, I do think that because it is Ocean Soul, and if we do manage to get that Ocean Soul going over to Era Lost Time, on top of the fact that he does have the Warmogs, then I don't see how they can ever not force a Baron. They can always
true.
start the Baron, walk off, start the Baron, walk off. Curtain call going down onto the Caitlyn. I'm thinking she didn't even manage to get hit by one, and they cancelled it immediately because I didn't see much
looks like it.
happen.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but like looking at ATG's team, you have the Wukong, and you have like all of these things that hit AoE. It would be nice just to have that Locket, you know, and you can just like, cool, you have AoE burst, cool, it doesn't matter anymore, you know, because I just press Locket and I shield for it. Flexion,
Flexion going over the wall, forced to flash away. A little bit of a whoopsie.
Yeah, he's like, oh no, never mind, I don't want to go there anymore.
Oh, and this Lucian is starting to look really scary as well.
Yeah.
275 CS, 50 CS up on his opposing mid laner. Still doesn't have the cleanse, but did go Merc trades as well. So you know, maybe he'll be able to survive. I mean, they're not exactly picking fights like 24/7. It's not like the game we watched last night. So they are sort of giving the Lucian time to get his cleanse up for every team fight, and I think that is a big mistake coming through from ATG's side. I think they should be looking to kind of keep up the pressure.
They just
Are they
got
going to try
started.
2-man the Baron?
Do they not see the ward?
I'm also wondering if they don't see it. Maybe they're just looking to get pressure. They forced out a TP already. They're just going to walk away. Just
Maybe that
baiting
was
up
just
the
their plan.
TP. And just leaving Boba Sagan to just sort of push out the bot lane. And I think that TP coming through from a West Sunday was a little bit too early. Does walk into Air Stardust. Stardust getting taken out to half
Ooh,
HP, but the
good
Ghost
ult.
Prism does come out. And he's going to become unstoppable.
Yeah.
And that's the top laner down. And now there's no one really to answer the Mord. And if they do answer Mord, it's a 3v4.
At Baron.
At the Baron, and the only real key ultimate you have is the showstopper coming through from
Do they
Set.
see the ward? Do they see the ward?
I don't think they
okay.
see the ward. Maybe they don't care.
There we go. Ares sees the ward. Okay, there we go.
Oh, TP coming through from Mord.
Selection walking in.
Selection walking in, needs to be a little bit careful, getting taken out of half HP.
Doing a lot of damage.
Haymaker does come out, ulties the Sejuani into the pit, and Flexion looking like he's gonna die. And they should just be able to get the dragon for free, and no one wants to walk up to the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, this Mordekaiser is a big scary boy right now. And right now, yeah, they can just walk this in and, you know, take an inhib at least. Because it's 32 seconds on Flexion. And not only that, Era is just super strong right now. Oh, look at that. That is not...
Ulti, Caitlyn, ulti?
Oh.
Does she have the ace and all? No, she didn't. Young Zink going, taking some turret shots, but away Sunbay going to get deleted straight away. Grom taken into the death realm. He's running for his life, but Boba Sagan is hunting him down, taking out the half HP with 1 Q. And I don't think he's going to survive. Come back, Ares.
There by Ares.
Ooh, Glacial Prism just sort of hitting a field goal
Yeah,
there.
they're just
but I
gonna walk
don't
this in.
think much is going to come from it. Ooh, Boba Sagan's flashing off deflection. Does manage to get the kill. I mean, does manage to get the hook, sorry. Ooh, base breaker coming through, but this is just going to be the end of the game.
Yeah, they're just gonna walk it in. Holy. Oh, that's crazy. And that all on the back of just how well Bilbo played. But to be fair, as we said, I think majority of the top side of Era last time played extremely well. I don't know, what are you feeling after game 1?
I feel like you don't give the... do we really need to see my face again? That's
Yes,
so
of course.
sad.
There we go.
I'm leaning right against the camera and all
Sorry.
that. But yeah, look, I think the Lissandra pick is a difficult pick. It's one champion that I've always sort of, as a previous Midland, I've always felt well to be effective, especially due to the fact that she has to be sort of on the winning team, or she needs to be going toe to toe with her opposing mid laner in farm. It's a champion that if it is behind, she's pretty much just a CC bot, and she doesn't have that much damage. And when you hamper yourself by building things like Zonya's first, where you don't actually get to have a lot of damage, you know, you kind of it defeats the point of playing Lissandra. Yes, you can have that hardcore engage, but if people take cleanse or build Quicksilver Sash, you basically become irrelevant. Whereas you could play something like Ziggs, like we've seen before, that you can stay safe, you can lane for free, and then you can do a whole lot of damage from a far away.
Yeah.
And it's just easy, and you also still create those zones like you're looking for. You can combo it easily with Set, you can combo it easily with Wukong.
Yeah,
And I just feel
at
like,
least you can hit the back line from 17 miles away. So if you're getting zoned off by this Mordekaiser or by something, it's just press R where my Wukong's ulting, where my Set's ulting. And at least that's guaranteed damage, and it can maybe kill their backline with the likes of Wukong, you know. So they did do very well. Kyle, I think you just need to click on Alex's picture, by the way, or
no,
to
look,
get his
look,
cam on.
I'm here. I swear
Yeah.
I'm here. I turned it on.
People, he is. Yeah, I'm looking at his beautiful face
I'm
right
just
now.
I'm looking at Chopper right now.
Oh,
Oh,
it
I've
messes it up a
I've
bit.
broken everything.
Now,
I'm
now
sorry. I
Kyle
just
just
broke
leaves.
Kyle's Discord. Kyle's like, you know
It's
what
okay,
I'm done?
guys. We'll get that fixed now. You guys can see me too.
Kyle's like, I
Don't worry
can't
too
do
much. Oh,
the
there we go.
connection for you guys. Ah,
Okay,
swap
yeah.
sides
Easy.
now.
Easy. Oh, that's fine. At least
Oh,
we don't have names underneath us, so it's fine. But yeah, going into game 2, if you're ATG, what do you take from game 1?
You ban Mordekaiser. Like,
Yeah,
there's no two ways about it. I feel like you need to ban the Mord. Mord could have done more that game. I really feel like he played really well. I feel like if Ares had put more pressure on the top lane, the Mord could have literally run away with the top lane. I don't even think
yep,
he would have even needed to join the team fights. He could have just literally 1v9 down top lane because he was incredibly far ahead early. Um,
100%.
and I feel like you need to pick a mid laner that isn't. They made some good plays with the Lissandra. She
Yeah.
TP'd bot lane. She got the bot lane, that huge scrappy fight at the beginning. She got the bot lane
Hmm.
ahead, but Lucian just
Then he
sat
walked
there.
top
He's like,
lane.
yeah. Then he went directly from there into the top lane, missed another wave, and Lucian just got enormously far ahead. And
Definitely.
Lissandra could never recover. She couldn't even lane against the Lucian. And you could see the player was flustered. He used the
Yeah.
stopwatch randomly in the lane. Like,
Yeah, definitely. If I'm ATG at this point, I'm like, cool. Let's get Slave on something that can, if this game goes late, he can take over fights. Put him on something like Kai'Sa. Vayne was banned the previous game. If they banned it again, well, unlucky. But you can get stuff like Kai'Sa. Maybe ban the Caitlyn, because if they take away the Ashe, ban the Caitlyn. It's like simple as that. I don't think bot lane was a huge issue for ATG, but the focus they put around it made it just a lot harder, and then put a Westhuizen on something like an Ornn or something there where it's like, cool, you can like gank me and you can get ahead and whatever, and I can lose in CS. But once it comes to team fights, I can do a hell of a lot. You know, there's stuff like Volley Bear, there's stuff like Set that you can play in top lane as well, which they just do a lot later, a lot more than Wukong. But it has to be said, he did do a lot in team fights. His laning just felt a little bit like he was getting beat on, you know?
I feel like opting to go the full damage build into the Mordekaiser was a little bit of a mistake because once he lost the beginning of the lane, once he got hit by that one turret shot and the Mord got ahead, TP'd back. That sort of that beginning was just so scrappy that going the full damage build, in my opinion, was a little bit of a mistake. Like, you don't really have survivability, and they have an incredibly good comp at kiting you out. Caitlyn gets a black shield. She just keeps autoing you walking backwards, puts traps underneath her feet. Like, it's a no-brainer for the Caitlyn. If you can't one-shot her, which the new Wukong doesn't really do particularly well, then you're
Yeah.
gonna have issues in the team fights because you're not an assassin champion. You're actually more of a consistent damage champion now.
Yeah, and again, with not a lot of follow-up damage and like the era loss, I'm doing a lot of work. Like they would throw out the glacial prison and then kite back and be like, okay, cool. Now we need to protect our backline so that the Wukong and all of these diving things that ATG has can't just keep on kill our backline actually. And Stardust was just, it felt like he was untouchable. He would get to half HP and then all of a sudden he's just gone. Like you couldn't get. It just felt like they couldn't even stick on him,
I
and
feel
I
like
felt like he played very well.
every single fight, like Era came, I mean, ATG came into it. They were five. They were ready to fight. And in every single fight, we saw someone flanking from Era. We saw the Maud coming in, and like he's off screen, like killing the Jin. And then in the next fight, I'm watching the Maud like beat on four of them, and then suddenly Stardust is killing the Jin. And I feel like for Slave, he was like, who can protect me from either of
Yeah,
these champions? Because Jin doesn't really stand a chance against the Lucian. He didn't stand a chance against the Maud. So I definitely agree with you. Ban the Caitlyn. Maybe don't ban as many AD carries if you can. And maybe
yeah,
get the Caitlyn or get the Ashe or get something where Slave can either peel for himself or has the chance to actually do enough damage to kill those champions while they run at him.
yeah. So, like, the general consensus is if you're blue side, you ban one, you pick the other one, or you ban one, you force them to pick the other one, right? If you're red side, just leave up every. If they don't ban one, don't ban any of them, right? Leave up as many AD carries as you can to give you as much option to do something, right? And then put yourself in a good position in top lane. You know, maybe take away the Mordekaiser. I would say Boba just seems way too comfortable on that champion to just give it to him for free. But I like the set pick. I wasn't a huge fan of the Lissandra. I feel like we said something like Ziggs could have been better there. But there's an Oriana could have been a very good there actually because you have Wukong, you have Set diving in. Oriana could have wreaked havoc with the shockwave there. So just something they have to reevaluate, and I'm pretty sure they are really reevaluating it now. And you know, planning on what they're going into game 2. These are people that have played in finals, a lot of the core team of ATG. So I'm not thinking this is going to affect them too much in the mental part.
You mean VS Gaming like championships, like finals, not the finals of
Not
VS.
the finals, but like
Okay.
the championship finals. They were at finals last year at Mavericks.
Yeah.
So
I also think potentially one thing they could look at is not sort of hampering your mid laner by picking Lissandra like fourth pick red. You know, like that was a problem. Like you picked the Lissandra, then blue side got the counter pick on you, picked Lucian into Lissandra when I can't even remember what they last picked, to be absolutely honest. I think they last
Set.
picked Set. They could have picked the Set earlier because that
Yep.
was technically a high priority pick. They could have even lost that pick and then picked the Lissandra later because the chances of them taking Lissandra away from you, maybe it was a takeaway pick, but from what I saw, it didn't look like a takeaway pick at all when I looked at the stats
Yeah.
before the game.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with you. There was so much up, that they could have picked. I'm guessing that's a comp they practiced, so that they could, like, that's why they brought it in, because they didn't really hesitate on the Lissandra pick either. So yeah, I think we're just gonna hop into like a 2-minute break so the teams can get ready for game 2, and yeah, then we'll see everyone now. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.
Are we live? Okay, perfect. My co-caster Alex just went to go get a sip of water, but let's jump straight into Champ Select for game number 2. We're hyped. I'm hoping to see some changes out of ATG. ATG did now ban the Morgana away. They're like, no, that lane was oppressive. Other than that, stock standard bans again from Era. They're gonna try and pick up the Caitlyn again. Let's see if they ban the Caitlyn. Okay, they do ban the Caitlyn. Mordekaiser is still up. Do they take it away? Do they just say, Bilbo, you got lucky that game? Cool. We don't care if you play it, or what is their plan? I'm curious to see what Era focus on here to get first. Seeing as Caitlyn isn't up.
I feel like I'm back. Sorry, had to run.
Yes.
I feel like it's smart to pick the Mordekaiser first. Don't take it
Yeah.
away. Pick it first. They're gonna pick the Volibear. Okay, cool. I know nothing
Okay.
clearly.
Volibear sets is something that people pick first a lot. So, you know, one of those two does make sense. I'm expecting to see like a set reply here. Set is very good into Volibear. And there's a Kai'Sa. Nice.
Wow.
I like it. Well, Sivir's also... He's also very good on Zypherr. Kai'Sa, I like it because you have a little bit more of movement. You can reposition yourself, get away from the Volibear. MF, no, you don't want to play MF into Volibear, I don't think.
That's a statement in my opinion. Coming out and just outright picking your bot lane. And there's
Yeah,
like the
just be
Nautilus top flex, but that's
Oof.
just like
Kai'Sa Nautilus is pretty strong, eh? You can stack your passive with the Kai'Sa. I kind of like it, not gonna lie. It is something that that Slave is very well known for and he's very comfortable on. So this is something he can take the game over. And yeah, we're gonna see if he can do that this game. 3 AD carries are banned. So, or 4, sorry, AD carries are banned. So they're gonna have to go to some tier 2. Ooh, a Leona. We're gonna see some team fighting now, boys. Now there's gonna be some fighting.
Are we not gonna pick the Mordekaiser again? Sorry, I know I'm harping a lot on
Yeah.
the Mordekaiser pick, but I feel like they've kind of hurt themselves by picking Leona in this situation. I feel like they should have picked an AD carry and
Plus
potentially
Maud.
a Maud, or they could have even potentially gone like Ezreal Yumi here. We know that Yumi was banned in the previous game, so they could have gone Ezreal Yumi into Kai'Sa if they really wanted to. Now they're opting to go
There's
rather
the Ezreal.
Leona.
Oh, no, Lucian.
Could be
Okay.
flips. Could be flips.
Could be bot. Lucian, Leona pretty strong. You can play very aggressive. Once Zenith Blade hits, Lucian can dash forward, do a lot of damage with that passive of Leona. And just a straight up Trundle pick coming in. Trundle, I like Trundle, especially into tanky teams. And we know Flexion can play Trundle pretty well. 6 months ago, that was played heavily. And we just see the Mordekaiser takeaway. It's like, no, Bilbo, cool. If you don't want to pick it early, you can't get it.
Yeah, I know. I am a little bit surprised by the picks so far. Also surprised that ATG did decide to end up going to the red side again. It looks like they do want this counter pick. Hopefully they will
Yeah.
actually take the counter pick this time, as opposed to what they did in the previous game. But still, the top lane and the mid lane to be chosen for both teams. Well, we think it could be chosen for both teams. However, the Volibear and the Lucian can both be flexed either way.
And ATG is just chipping away at this AD carry position. I probably would have taken away the Israel instead of the Xayah. Xayah not very high on priority. The two next in priority is probably something like the Israel and the Jhin, maybe the Senna. But yeah, they just decide, listen, we don't want something that can go basically invulnerable and can't be hit and repositioned. So we take that away so we can dive your backline. And they took away the Lissandra. Clearly, the Lissandra left much more of an impact in game than it did on us. So I don't know what. They just like, rather
Maybe
not.
it's Squeezing champion pool. Maybe it is a Lucian mid. I think it might be a Lucian bot lane. I know you don't see it a lot anymore, but I think it.
No,
might
it's been buffed. It's pretty good now. It's pretty good. And with Leona, that's a very aggressive bot lane. You can punish this Kai'Sa. So, it is. I don't hate it at all. Urgot. There we go.
That's what I wanted in
Sunbear.
the previous game.
Okay. I like that. Urgot's very good. People aren't going to get away on low HP this time. If Sunbear can get his best American sniper cosplay out here and just snipe these people across the map. And I'm pretty sure Urgot does pretty well into Volibear. I'm not actually sure how that matchup goes. I'm going to rely on chat to tell me that. Oh, that will be okay. So it's a Volibear jungle, Fiora top lane. Power flex picks.
So I'm expecting them to pick either an AD carry or a mid laner here that's happy
Yeah.
to be able to 4v5 because Fiora is probably gonna never want to. Annie.
Yeah. Annie, okay. A lot of team fight prowess coming out again from the side of Era last time, except for Fiora, which kind of is lost in this. But Boba Sagan's very comfortable on Fiora, so he's just like, cool, let's fight. And Zed, this can't be real, right?
No,
Harvard cinched the previous game, so I doubt, there's not a lot of overlap from people playing Lissandra and play Zed, to be fair.
that's a bit better. I was about to
Ooh,
say
LeBlanc.
the Victor
Okay.
pick would have been painful, but I can deal with the LeBlanc mid lane. You never know. Maybe it's Annie Leona in the bot lane. We don't even know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Annie does pretty well into LeBlanc, no? I'm not 100%. Just because you have that clickable stun with your Q as Annie, and then it doesn't matter how much you hop around if that thing follows you.
I
So, yeah.
I do agree with you. I do feel like LeBlanc, all three of those picks that I saw, Zed, LeBlanc, Victor, I'm not really a fan of any of them into the matchup.
Mm.
Look, Annie will eventually have to use her stun on something
Yeah.
else other than LeBlanc, and LeBlanc can be quite slippery.
Mhm.
So I don't think Annie's entirely that good on LeBlanc. On LeBlanc against LeBlanc.
Against LeBlanc, yeah.
Can still burst her, but I feel like if this Annie takes Predator, it's not going
Predator
to be
Annie.
about. It's not going to be about the mid lane.
Yeah, it's just gonna roam bot lane like the whole game and try and make Slave and Zamalek's life hell. And if you see that Annie with Predator and then they hit like a Hexic Protobelt in there, there's no running away. Unless she misses, like you're kinda in a bad place. So, they're gonna always have to be warded out well, and Grom has to make sure that he doesn't get roamed on constantly. So just looking at the comp straight up with just the lanes. Mid lane, Annie should kinda have prio. I'm guessing. I'm not sure how that matchup goes. LeBlanc is just scary to play against if you're a mid laner because you never know, she can just one rotation and kill you. But Annie a lot of time can shove out LeBlanc. LeBlanc has to use her jump to clear the waves, so that's not great. And then bot lane, if Young Zinc and Bishop play very aggressive, they can punish this Kai'Sa Nautilus and have prio in bot lane. I don't really see that happening, seeing as Kai'Sa can easily push the wave with her Q. And then top lane, I don't know anything about Fiora. Fiora just seems like she either goes 10-0 or 0-10. So we'll see which side of the coin is Boba Sagan's this game.
I feel like this is again one of those sort of comps where if the LeBlanc doesn't get going, it's very coin flippy because if LeBlanc doesn't get going, it's gonna all rely on ATG Slave to carry the game. And Leona and Lucian actually with Zenith Blade and Piercing Light have a
Yeah.
really early push. They can be a
Yeah.
really aggressive lane. They might even do I mean, depending on how we see this game, they might even look for an early invade with the Volley Bear and the Annie. If Annie decides to stun in base and stack up her stun, we could be looking at a really, really decent level 1 coming through from Era Lost Time.
Yeah.
And
No, definitely.
I do think this bot lane sort of hinges on on your junglers. Like, yes, there is there totally is outplay potential from the LeBlanc. If Annie doesn't have her stun up, I do feel like LeBlanc does have the potential to one shot the Annie. Post 6, or technically even pre 6, Annie can also do a lot of damage to LeBlanc, especially if Annie is running Ignite. I don't think she'll be running the Ignite. Potentially, we could see LeBlanc with the Ignite. I'm hoping we see LeBlanc with the Ignite because that, in my opinion, is one of her best ways of winning this lane. Looking for early trades, looking for that level 3 all in onto the Annie if it is possible. Potentially with Trundle looking to make impact in the mid lane early.
Yeah. No,
But
definitely. It is. I think there's going to be a lot of ganking, and again, like the previous game, it's the previous game. A lot was put on Flexion's shoulders to get his weak laners out of lane ahead. Right? He didn't manage to do that. Um, they invested a lot into bot lane to make sure they don't lose, but then um, Stardust just got so far ahead on the Lucian, so that just kind of went crazy. But just looking at it, if this time if the volley bear can get these lanes ahead, you can see that Lucian dashing around the Annie just one rotation killing anything. It's a lot on his shoulders for me in this game because on the other side of the coin, ATG, in my opinion, except for maybe the LeBlanc, they just have a straight up better comp in my opinion.
Oh my goodness, that is such a sexy Fiora skin. Woo. I thought it was what's the other champion? I thought it was Camille at first. IG Camille was the other Camille skin. Or was the other
Yeah.
IG skin, wasn't it?
Yes, yes,
I thought
yes.
that's like I'm sure we didn't. I'm surprised we haven't seen Camille in any of these games so far. I feel like Camille would have been a really good pick into
Yep.
the Urgot. Maybe she isn't super good in lane, but yeah.
Uh,
Right, so we
Camille
all-
is literally the strongest, one of the strongest. Camille and Nexon are the highest presence in pro play right now. I just think it's either you play it or you don't. So, yeah,
Awesome. So
Okay.
I am waiting for you at 10. Are
I'm
you
at 10
ready?
seconds. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. I'm hyped. Let's see some good game.
Let's just check if our producer over here is ready at 10. Zypherr, are you ready at 10? Can count down
Yeah.
when ready. Awesome. So on go. 3, 2, 1, and you can go.
Cool. Okay. So,
Go.
just in chat again, guys. Who's gonna win? Is it gonna be a 1-1 draw with ATG taking this game, or is Era with the legend Boba Baggins gonna take this 2-0?
Ooh, early game aggression.
Huh?
Nautilus. That Nautilus skin looks so cool. Ooh, looking. Gonna get the flash.
Doesn't.
Oh, doesn't land the hook. That was really close. And
Yeah, it was close. And
I
you
can't-
know how Nautilus Hook can be. Nautilus Hook can hit you behind towers sometimes.
Yeah,
You
that
know, so that Nautilus Hook is a kind of wonky interaction and huge hitbox.
Ooh.
Bilbo a little out of position.
Trouble. Oh, the E doesn't land from the Urgot. Fiora forced to flash away. The chain is gonna land though. That's a little bit of damage. Ignite coming through. Annie now getting hooked. Not gonna die either, but I mean that's a flash and an ignite down. Ooh, ooh.
Ooh,
There's
okay.
Stardust.
Stardust just blocking for him. Okay, well, now both of them are going to be late to lane. Stardust, okay, he's just going to use his corrupting pot. Boba Sagan is going to walk to lane. If he walks to lane, this can be very bad for him, because he can, if he hits level 2 second in this lane, this can be very bad for him.
It could be, but he could also just get the freeze off again, like he did in the previous game.
That is true, that is accurate. Okay, standard starts from both junglers here. We're not seeing any invades. A nice little deep ward there from Era last time. That's what Boba Sagan's dropped there. Hopefully the Flexion realizes that, seeing as that's where they caught him, that there is some vision on his topside jungle. Oh, Grum getting stunned. Just a stun and a nice little auto. It is Electrocute Annie with Flash Ghost. Interesting. Not gonna lie, I don't play Annie, so I don't know.
She's
Yeah.
definitely
It's not
gonna
a
have
bad
more
idea.
burst potential, but I
Yeah.
do feel like Predator is definitely a better option. Instead of having to take the Ghost, you do just pop the Predator and just roam around. I know back when Mr. Not first moved over, ooh, Zamalek walking into
Oh.
Bishop, looking for the trade. Trade pretty even. Zenith Blade does
Okay,
land.
good.
The two AD carries gonna trade with each other. They're turning
Oop.
onto the Lucian. Ignite does come out. Meanwhile, Bishop getting taken very low. He should be a free kill.
Oh,
Heal
heal.
shot, actually. Ooh, and ATG
This is
Slave
a
actually
weird
playing
fight.
this fight really well. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Aware Sunbear getting caught out by Ares. Stun does land. He's gonna walk away, trying to trade onto Boba Sagan's. Boba Sagan's looking to see if he can get the damage off, and that's gonna be
Ooh.
Urgot breaking down for first blood.
And I don't think this is great for the side of ATG. It just gave Fiora a kill, or the Volibear a kill, actually, not the Fiora. So it's not the end of the world. He's just going to TP back in. That's a very sketchy TP because the Volibear can still be there. So you don't really want to TP in there, just in future reference for Westhuizen. If you're the jungler there, you'll just wait. But you see to Zamalek walking up. It's like, get out of the lane. Get out of my way.
Zamalek getting caught out by the Zenith, but does flash onto Young Zinc, and Bishop just tanking the damage coming through from ATG Slave.
And Slave is, they're winning this lane pretty hard. So I'm expecting to see some investment here from Era last time, trying to make sure this Kaiser doesn't get too far ahead, but there's a fight that's happening.
The seconds, he's going to trade back onto the Urgot. Urgot getting taken down quite low, but I don't know how this fight's really going to go. Looks like Fiora's winning quite handedly, but here comes the volley
The
again.
bears,
knowing-
yeah.
The Urgot does still have flash up, so I'm expecting him to flash away. Will the Volibear flash? Does flash to follow, but I don't
just
think the
walked
flash was needed. I think he could have just walked away, leaving the Urgot to blow his flash, and then could have just come for another return gang.
Yeah, definitely. And now you see that he can't just walk back. and like easily gank him with like a flash Q, maybe to have the guaranteed stun, because you don't have flash anymore. So he probably thought if he does that, they can turn around and kill him. Not the end of the world for the side of Ares, but something that I'm thinking after he did it, it's like, okay, that was a waste.
Yeah, and Boba Sagan's actually ending up sort of even in farm. It's unfortunate he did choose to back in that wave. I feel like he could have potentially taken a couple CS, but the freeze is in his favor.
Yeah,
So-
that is a big wave that's stacking up in top lane. And we see also the side of Era's bot lane, Young Zinc and Bishop they have a nice little wave building for them as well, which they can slow push in.
Ooh,
But Flexion is here
more
already.
people heading to the bot lane.
Yeah. And you
Dragging
can
it.
see what ATG's plan here is. They're like, okay, cool, let's get Slave ahead, making sure we have the late game AD carry threat. They can just one-shot everything on their team. And I'm expecting this to be the first of many trips for Flexion down to this bot lane.
It must be said that I don't even, at this point, Slave doesn't even need the help. I mean, he played those last couple trades and fights incredibly well, in my opinion. Ooh, there's a little bit of trading in the top end. I feel like we're going to see this a lot. Aware Sunbay getting taken very low. The riposte doesn't come up. Meanwhile, the ghost coming out from Aristotle tries to turn around on the LeBlanc. LeBlanc's just going to distort away.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of ganking coming out from Ares, not a lot of farming right now, so you do see a little bit of a lead for the side of Flexion. Flexion has been looking at ganks, but he hasn't been getting anything off. He is pathing towards top lane, maybe wanting to punish Boba Sagan, even though Boba Sagan does have flash up, and his timing is a little bit off on this. Seeing as Boba did flash very early in the game. Oh, clears the board.
Ares is actually going to take away this Drake without being spotted. I think he used the blasting plant to get over, so he's just busy soloing out the Drake. And that should be Mountain Drake going over to the side of Era last time. No contest with a losing bot lane. So that's a really sneaky move
Interesting.
from Ares and really good, in my opinion.
Yeah. But you do see that their bot lane does have late pressure. Oh,
Comes
fight.
down onto the Leona. Bishop getting taken down to half health immediately. Void Seeker onto Bishop, and he's getting taken very low. That Leona's not tanky at all.
Yeah, well, it is the passive proc from Kai'Sa. It does do a lot of damage, a lot more than you expect.
Ooh, another
yeah,
hook
they're just
landing
gonna keep
on-
fighting.
Keep going up to Bishop. Exhaust has come out. I mean,
He's
sorry,
turning around. Hello?
Turning around onto ATG Slave. Slave getting taken down to 100 HP. Ignite is still ticking. Will he get the heal? He's not gonna die. Oh, dude. Meanwhile, in the river, Ares
Holy.
walks with Flexion, and Flexion covering so well. Ooh,
And the fight's again in top lane.
Sagan's. It looks like what happened in the previous
Oh.
game. Ooh.
But just the reverse. But
The
if
reverse.
Sunbay, if Sunbay was 6 there, that
He
should
is
be.
six?
He is 6 now. He's just gonna blindly try and snipe the Fiora. He did try and blindly snipe it. We can see it went on cooldown, but he did not hit it. So, yeah, that's just off cooldown now. And Sunbay doing very well with all of the pressure that was put on him by Ares. He's not that far behind. His problem is he should try and reset this wave. If you can't push it fast enough, then you shouldn't be pushing it. Otherwise, you're just going to be in a position where Bilbo freezes on you again, and you're going to get that big bear's attention. It does, okay, he does reset the wave, and he gets off a nice little back for himself. So he's not in a bad position at all right now.
And I was about to say, talking about freezes, Era
Ooh,
last
big
time
freeze.
making a little bit of a mistake in the bot lane, not pushing out
Mm.
the next wave, and this should be an easy freeze for Slave. And
Yeah.
he's already got a CS advantage, and it's only going to get bigger now.
Yeah, and now it's in that position. You see Zamalek every time the Era last time bot lane walks up. Zamalek's like, oh, you think you can come farm? No, no, no. I will fight you. So you just see where he's positioning.
Lands
Ooh.
it onto Flexion, Flexion dashing where they're going to turn around onto Bishop Zede. His flash isn't up. I don't think he's going to be able to walk away from this. Something
Ooh.
happened to Slave, flashing in from Flexion, surviving on
Ooh.
an absolute...
Oh,
no,
he's dead.
Die.
I think, what, a minion or something?
Was it the
Must have
cannon
hit him?
minion? I think it was the cannon minion that hit him in the end.
Yeah, oh, no, there was a lot of minions hitting him. I
Also
just saw
going
it
over
stream.
on Grom. Whew.
Okay.
Grom taking a lot of damage, but staying in contention with the Annie at the moment. And
Oh, no,
Startup
he's walking
is a
up.
little careful.
Ooh,
A
bad
chain
chain.
questionable.
yeah. And you just see this bot lane is going to take over. If Era last time doesn't do something about this bot lane, this is going to become very scary. And your leads everywhere else isn't going to matter a whole lot. Because Kai'Sa can just take over the game. Young Zinkalol, two flames up there.
Deleted. Blue buff getting transferred over to ATG.
Ooh, this is a double kill.
Bishop Zede looking very low. Dredge line lands, and they're going to give it over to ATG Slave. Oh, are they? Does
Yeah. Okay, now you have a problem.
Now you have a problem, and I'm actually fine with this AD carry building mana mute.
Yes, this is standard.
Ooh, meanwhile, Flexion making a play in the top lane. Boba Sagan's trying to get the trade off onto West Sunbay. Brilliant
good
pillar
pillar.
coming through. Does manage to proc ulti, but
Fear Beyond Death hits,
Beyond-
and
yeah.
that's a dead Fiora. And now you see a lot of proactive moves coming out from ATG here. Ooh, collapse coming in
And he's
here.
running in with the ghost. Does get the stun off. Doesn't have ulti. Volibear ulting in. Trying to see if they can get him. They're maybe going to turn it onto Flexion. Flexion getting a little bit caught
That
up. Will
pipe.
get slow. Chilling Smite does come out. Flexion using the pillar.
Good pillar.
The stun coming out onto the
Oh, he's dead.
Trundle. He is
Oh.
going to die. Yo, the minions are just pounding the Annie though. And LeBlanc
Yeah.
is roaming up. She's just going to
Le-
get spotted by the ward. You're the
The
word.
word.
By the word.
By the what is the word?
The bird is the word.
100%.
Frog is
yeah.
not there though, sadly. Yo, something
Zamalek, he's
doesn't care. The dredge lines just come out.
Dude, he's throwing that when it's on cooldown, and you know, Slave, he's gonna be a big problem for this side of Era Lost Time. Like we said previously, before the game started, Slave
Ooh,
very comfortable with this.
That's
Ooh,
coming
getting
through,
top
they're
lane.
going to Urgot. Urgot's looking very low, and that's going to be Boba
Dead.
Sagan picking up a kill.
He sat there forever. This is what you're saying, TS. It's like, how long was that guy there for? You know, he was sitting there for quite a while. So, oh, Zamalek again.
One landing onto Bishop again, and ATG Slave just a little bit out of sync. Wow, and that's going to be Lucian
Oh!
down so low. But here comes the Annie. She's
Slave?
getting stun up.
Oh,
Slave
he's dead.
Get destroyed by Tibbers.
Nice little
You know,
350 gold
Amalek
shutdown.
running for his life, and they are going to
The
get
rest of the team is here.
dragon, but the rest of the team are trying to turn it onto Bishop. Tibbers coming in, beating on Zamalek. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we do see
Top
Boba Sagan's trying to get in there. Is he going to kill the Urgot though? He's out of mana, so I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, and the top tower did fall.
On Crom right now.
It's an angry little teddy bear.
Man, that teddy bear is not level, dude. That's like that
Oh,
one,
that's fair.
that
Yeah,
one
good
league
bear.
cinematic where I can't remember who fights Tibbers. and
Baron.
Tibbers falls. Is it Baron?
Isn't it where they
It's Baron,
fight
yeah.
Baron? Yeah.
Tibbers is scary.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
Zamalek walking up again. He's
Zamalek
just dead.
does die. The solar flare does come out. Air Stardust
Good
Kai'Sa
pillar.
in for fight, and Bishop, he's just going to sacrifice himself. Oh no, but Stardust stays.
Oh,
Wants to flash away, and here comes Ares to save the day.
it has to be said. Flexion's pillars right now on point. He's like literally placing them between two teams right now.
Wait, you get a popping plant there in League of Legends? What? I never knew that.
In the thing.
Is that
alcove. What's it
depending on
Alcove.
does that depend on the map? If it's like which Drake it is?
Yes.
So it's
I
only
think.
for Infernal Drake potentially.
I don't know if it's only for Infernal, but if there's more, it's Infernal, there's more blasting guns around the map. I'm pretty sure.
So here's me casting the game. Doesn't even know where the blasting plants come up. Yes, it is. It is those blasting plants that come up more often on the Infernal map. I can see the one that's just outside the wall between.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm interested that the Lucian decided to finish his
Essence Reaver.
Essence Reaver without getting boots, especially with the amount of aggression coming out of Zamalek. So having like
Yeah.
less movement speed, in my opinion, might hamper your laning against this Nautilus that just literally doesn't care.
Yeah, true. But the thing is, he should be juking these hooks with his dash. But Zamalek's just on point. He's like, dude, you ain't juking anything. And he just repeatedly has been hitting the bishop, especially for free.
That hook is so long.
Yeah. He is not scared at all. Zamalek is the manliest Nautilus I've ever seen in my life. But he's probably going to pay for it now. Oh, no. Got a nice little timing there. Called Ares looking the long way.
doing
the
a
wrong way.
lot of stunning still this game. And Flexion, it can
Mhm.
be said same with Flexion. Both junglers looking with looking like they have quite low CS numbers at the moment. in
Yes,
my
very
opinion.
true.
But I
Very
mean,
true. They are playing the gank heavy stuff, and sometimes the gank takes a little longer to set up. You know, we saw a couple of times Flexion pathing to one side of the map, and by the time he gets there, they are dead already. So, you know, especially towards the bot lane.
yeah, and although
And as we
Flex
said, Bishop not having a great game on this Leona so far.
not having the best game, but although they are a little bit behind, ooh, coming.
Oof.
They
Trying
are
to just
still
clip him.
doing well in terms of gold. I know they've got first brick
Definitely.
down from error last time, but they are. I think this rotation early from the Lucian and the Leona, not the worst idea. Does manage to get the Lucian a little bit more CS, so he did manage to catch up to the Kaiser a little bit. He was sitting at like a 40 CS deficit before he managed to do that rotation. But now the Annie is slowly falling behind, and the LeBlanc is starting to catch up again after Annie had built a little bit of a lead. So I don't know
Yeah,
if
so
they
you're
play
seeing a lot of the gold difference in the top side of the map for Air Lost Time again, and then the stronger for ATG. There's a 1k gold lead in mid lane for the Annie. There's about a 400 gold lead for the Volibear, and then a 1.4k massive gold
There's
lead.
that
Oh!
landing onto the Lucian, the chain comes out, he's going to get absolutely destroyed. Meanwhile, Bishop Zede also in a little bit of trouble. Good stun comes through, going to be able to walk away. But they do get the Rift Herald in exchange.
Yeah. So, and then there was just that massive gold lead in top lane. So, oh, Zamalek not scared of anything, man.
No, and he does use tippers.
Zypherr.
Actually getting there. Grom getting turned on next. Oh, the Zenith Blade lands max range. They are going to chase after this LeBlanc. Flexion coming in as well. Bishop forced to run away. And we see a Were Sunbear coming down the river as well. We're having a party in the mid lane. Oh, Bishop spotted out. Did they see him? They did see him. Ridgeline lands onto the Leona. Leona's going to go down for the
Gone back there, son.
game.
That's not where you want to back. And they're behind this Lucian. If they know the Lucian is there, they can cause a lot of trouble.
Getting caught out. Yeah, Lucian's
They
brave.
can stun.
They're
Ah, they're just
walk
gonna
on
go
us
for
out.
that.
He's going here, very aggressive. And they don't even need to dive if the Slave just 1v1s him.
Yeah, Slayer is like, dude, you know I'm 3 for 1, right? You can't kill me. And just kills him again. And, you know, it has to be said that, yes, Slave is super far ahead and is looking very scary. But there's a lot of ways for Era Lost Time to deal with him. They have a lot of CC in Leona. And then they have a lot of CC from the Annie. And even Volibear can just, you know, flash Q. So I'm expecting to see like a third item or fourth item QSS from Slave coming in. Hopefully. Ooh, there's that
There
flash.
is going on to
CC.
Slave. Slave using the ulti to get away. You know, this Fiora is also quite big. Not as big
Yes.
as Slave is, but she's just split pushing 24/7. She's already got down the second tower in the top lane. Meanwhile, Flexion. Ooh, Dredge line lands. They're going to see if they can turn around onto the Volibear. Slave trying to outplay, but here comes the Lucian again.
Yeah, and it's like, what can you do at this point against this Fiora? Because she's just going to keep on splitting. It's pretty clear that Boba has no intention of joining these team fights. He's like, my map is just topside. So you guys do whatever you have to do, and I'll just keep on pushing towers. And he's getting his team a substantial amount of pressure because of that. You know, and we just see, okay, Rift Hill being dropped at mid.
I'm
That should be
surprised
mid
they're
tower.
not escorting that to get a second charge. We do see Fiora going aggressive in the top lane, but there is a Trundle hiding in the bush, and there is going to get the heal coming through from the Fiora,
Okay.
but it's going to be enough. No, it's not.
Didn't even use his Fear Beyond Death there with Sunbase, so clearly they can do something in the side lane. It's just about actually being there, or I have actually no idea. Maybe it's the help because he does have Preamble now, plus he has those Ninja Tabis. So we'll see if he finishes his Black Cleaver next. He should.
Ooh,
And
the
Zamalek
Drift
just
Line
looking
lands
again.
under the tower. Solar Flare does come out. Huge amounts of damage coming through from ATG Slave. The culling is going down onto Zamalek, but Lucian deciding to back.
Zamalek, dude, I love this guy. He keeps just throwing out hooks, man. This guy, they just fought. He's like, no, my dredge line's back up. I'm fighting right now.
Ooh,
Oh,
Slave
Slave.
walking forward, doing so much damage
A
to
heal.
Young Zinc.
Young Zinc had to pop heal there. They're just gonna take the tower. Oh, get it again! Zamalek, you god!
You're
Oh my god.
definitely a second ahead of me there.
Oh, okay. I'll pull shot
Spoilers.
for a second. Okay, there we go. Oh!
Flash
Slater.
onto Slave. He's gonna get instantly deleted there. I'm gonna try to turn on with Annie. She does get another stun off. Stuns down the LeBlanc. Urgot's TP'd in as well. Meanwhile, Aries just getting
Not a-
beaten on
yeah.
by Flexion. I don't even think he's gonna be able to run away from this Trundle.
Yeah, I don't think he knew that he was being hit by
Either.
by the Trundle. Oh,
And-
this is just crazy.
This game is just, ooh, young Zinc in a bad position. Surprised they didn't look to dive. I guess there aren't any minions, so it is a bit risky. I'm also really surprised Grom survived there, but I guess his team did sort of peel in, or pile in to save them. Ooh,
See?
Bishop? Bishop?
But
Hello?
they saw him,
Are people
hello.
looking at the screen?
People
I'm
are
very
keep looking at the tasty Grom. They like, Grom is low, we must kill him. They're looking at him, not seeing this full HP Urgot just sitting in the bush.
Yeah, and that's a couple misplays in a row. Like, I don't know what to say. Are players lagging or they're asleep? Is the pressure getting to them? Because that's two players just walking into the enemy team. Literally running it down.
Yeah, 100%. And that's just them not paying attention. Maybe not, you know, clearly not playing on lock camera. So they might be watching somewhere else on their screen. And now we're just going to see Era trying to reclaim some vision here in their jungle. And it has to be said, this lead has grown substantially for the side of ATG. It's only a 2k gold lead, but if you look at Flexion, sitting on 8.8k compared to the 6.5 of the Lucian. Lucian complete with boots and one item. Like, Flexion's busy with his third item already. So yeah, he's gonna be very strong. I wonder if that's gonna be a Zonya's. That might be.
I feel like you're talking about ATG Slave and not Flexion.
That's what I meant. What did
Oh,
I
yeah.
say? Flexion.
Yes.
My bad.
The one thing I'd like
The
to
other one.
really point out is the fact that the Urgot, who was 1,600 gold behind, is now dead even with the Fiora and has finished Thornmail and Black Cleaver, and that Fiora is not going to have a fun time. She's really not going to have a fun time. She's not going to get as much healing back from, I think it's a Grand
Brock.
Challenge.
Yeah,
Brock
the
is a Grand
ultimate.
Challenge.
Yeah.
And I just don't think she's gonna start. She's gonna start losing these 1v1s if she's not careful.
Yeah, and these close fights when you go low as a Fiora, that's what Fear Beyond Death's for. That's what makes Urgot obnoxious. Is when you're low, you just lose the fight. So you don't have time to get healing back and stuff like that because you're just gonna die because of that.
And you
So
see-
I think, yeah.
You
Okay.
see all the vision control coming out on the blue side in their own jungle. It's all
Look at
defensive
that.
team in the top lane.
Look
So
at
much
that,
damage.
man.
It does arrive, but it's not gonna suck her back in. But he's just gonna 1v1 her anyway. Meanwhile, Ares going in aggressively. He's getting absolutely destroyed by
Disgusting.
Slave, and that's a huge amount of damage. But Tibbers does do a lot of damage in the backside.
Ooh, Slave.
Everybody's so low. Slave flashing gets stunned up. He's gonna die to Eris Stardust, and this fight's going over in the favor of the blue side. I think it's a 2 for 2.
Kinda
in the
even-
end.
Oh, Zomalek!
Oh,
This
Dominik,
guy!
oh, he
This
doesn't know.
guy!
Reflection kills him with the 1 damage from the pillar.
Oh my word! What are we watching? Zomalek is an absolute Chad, man. This guy is like, we are all low. No, I'm gonna still throw out a dredge line and kill you. What a Chad gamer, dude. I am proud to be able to cast this man right
What?
now. That
What's
is,
What's this guy in the previous game?
dude, yeah, it's like a whole different player, completely.
Put him on Nautilus and he just doesn't care. He's like, I'm just gonna throw
Yeah.
dredge line. It's like, you know, when it's on, it's like it's an ultimate. Dude. Every time it's off,
Yeah,
cooldown,
on
it's great.
cooldown. If that thing goes out, it doesn't care if anyone is close to me. That thing is going out right now. And that was just absolutely crazy. It has to be said, Slave, Lawless playing there, flashing into any damage and just insta dying because of it. But he was free hitting that volley ban. That volley boy was not having fun with this little girl beating on.
Yes, you make it sound so bad.
It wasn't. What do you mean? It wasn't fun. And now his mirror mana is done, so he's gonna be doing a lot of damage. Don't want to fight with
I don't, know
someone
if he, I don't know if he really wants to fight. I'm like, just see, he just throws the dredge line at Annie.
Yeah, he's
I feel
just like, listen.
This man's gonna get the MVP already, dude. Like,
Yeah, this guy is amazing. He is playing very well. He's not scared of anything. You don't want to fight Zamalek, even though you got more damage. He will just get like Slave Wall is close by. If Zamalek's there, imagine Slave is just like somewhere around it.
and I do feel like ATK, I mean ATG pushing in the mid lane. They're grouping. They're doing what they need to do. Sending the LeBlanc to side lane against Solution. But I feel like Boba Sagan's sort of missing, like dropping the ball here. Like he needs to keep the split lane pressure. I don't feel like the Fiora ever needs to join the team fight. Although he is in a bit of a troubled situation because he can't
Ooh.
really fight Aware Sunbear.
Okay,
Aware Sunbear does get stunned up. TP coming through.
Slave's in base.
But Slave? Boba Sagan's is here. Aware Sunbear forced to flash
They're
away.
just gonna walk it out. Oh, Grom, this is not good, brother. Oh no.
Rob gets caught out by the Tibbers. Running
he
through
runs
his
into
watch, dash
another
the
bear.
wall, finds a volley bear. Oh, he's juking it
Zenith.
up. The Zenith Blade does land though, and Grom is going to
Oh.
get taken out.
Jump from one bear into another one there. Kind of unfortunate for Grom. He was standing there clearing the ping. So he knew that they knew where he was. Not very, not the greatest of play there. And it has to be said, like, ATG did well there. They kited everything out. Yes, they expended a flash, but that's not the end of the world. Now, Grom dying, that's not great. But everything else, they did fine. Era expended so much to actually, to try and get on them, but they couldn't. And now there's going to be a Baron fight.
They're starting up the Baron. They don't have Tibbers up just yet. I don't know if they want to pick this fight. ATG
Sunbear.
Sunbear going in. Solar Flare doesn't really hit many of them. That's a lot of damage going onto
Slave's
Slave.
dead.
Slave's going to die. The Urgot is dashing and he's going to see, but he's going to go down as well. There's healing coming through from the Fiora ulti. They're turning around the
Double
pick.
lick.
This is going to be a wipe. Alex running for his life.
Oh.
Get away? I don't think so. Zenith Blade should be coming off of
They
cooldown.
can't kill the Chad.
But Grom is up looking for Boba Sagan. Boba Sagan dashes away. He's chasing.
Zooks him again.
He's going to try and turn around. Riposte does come
Get
up.
him, Zamalek.
Kill him. Doesn't want to die. does
Zamalek is such a Chad. Just keeps hooking him.
But they are
But
getting
they
the
got
Baron.
the kid, Baron. Yeah. Can Grom maybe clean up one more here? He needs to be careful.
Op needs to be careful.
But yeah, I feel like, okay, like that's 2 fights in a row that Slave just kind of played poorly. He ulted on top of the solar flare, so and then he got hit by the CC and just insta died. So I think he should just take a breath, be like, okay, cool. If the fight,
Ooh, we have
Pause?
a pause.
won't be South African League of Legends without a pause.
You know, I was gonna say before this game, we haven't had a single pause yet.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I was just waiting because I was like, you know what? I turned off my camera and I was like, oh, Sai, if the pause comes through, we might have to look at my face again. So I might have to unpause. Oh, we're actually going back.
Oh,
again.
there we go.
That was quick.
So, yeah. Oh, well, quick one. What was I busy saying? Oh, so I feel like Slave is just misplaying these fights a little bit. So in the next fight, when the fight pops off, he just needs to be like, okay, cool. Wait out the solar flare. Wait out the Tibbers, right? Wait out these major CC things that can hit me and make me die instantly. And once that happens, then I can start diving the backline. Then I can start killing them. And you actually only want to dive the backline like after most of the major spells have been thrown. And you know, you've dealt with most of them.
The one
know?
thing I'd like to really point out is Era Stardust like really deserves a mention in this game. I mean, he's up to like 11k gold, almost even just he's I think he's 300 gold behind ATG Slave, who had such a brilliant early game, and so much damage is coming out of this Annie in the fight. Like every single fight I'm looking at him like, oh, you know, it doesn't look good for them. The solar flare comes out, and then suddenly Annie just eviscerates half of the enemy team.
Yeah. No, 100%. And yeah,
Wrap around.
Slave, you're a little bit deep there, brother. But he also played very well the previous game, and his team fighting is very, very good. So we're gonna see if he can do it again, if he can
Starting up on
take
the
care of
table.
Slave again.
And he doesn't have flash. They're looking to see Volibear does go in. My game froze for a moment, but we're
Yeah,
back.
too.
And we're looking, Flexion
Slave's
getting
free
taken
to
very
take.
low, flashing away. Slave not going on. Grom has been killed off in the end. Meanwhile, Slave still
Slave's
alive.
still
Fish
alive.
going in. We've got two people going down, but they do manage to get the dragon. ATG Slave looking to see.
Now
Will
he
they-
ults
does
that,
manage
smart,
to get the
yes.
ulti off. Young Zinc running for his life. Flashes
He's
over the
pushing.
wall. Young Zinc gets finished
Triple.
off the triple. Sure.
See, that's exactly how he should have played that fight. Okay, a little bit bad ult at the end, but other than that, it was very well played. You wait, you sit back, you hit the volley, hit the big bear, hit him, hit him, hit him. Cool, now you've dealt with frontline. Major CC is out. Now you can dive and start cleaning them up. very, very well played there from Slave. And, you know, it must be said, if that was of what, 4 for 1 for the side of ATG. And all of a sudden, they're back in the driving seat.
And I feel like Era lost time. They have a really, really sort of easy way to play these fights, and they're just not executing it, in my opinion. Like, the Annie should be looking to find the flank. Every single fight,
Yeah,
we should be
and
looking
find
for the
Slave.
flank. Because you can't just run head first into this team. You just can't. Your
Yeah.
volley bear just gets annihilated because the subjugate comes out. Volley has no resistances. He's running into ATG Slave, and provided Zamalek drops
Ooh, I like this.
Provided
Sorry,
Zamalek
yeah?
drops depth charge onto the Annie, Stardust doesn't ever get a chance to get in range to blow up ATG Slave, so Slave can just sit back, kill your front line, and then deal with your back line afterwards.
Yeah, 100%. And I like this adaptation from Slave. I really, really like it. Gets a QSS, realizes, listen, if I get hit by CC, I might just be dead. And in case I do, I hit a stopwatch as well. I would like to see the stopwatch turn into a Zonias. We've seen people like Vanzo, especially a big fan of the Zonias on Kai'Sa. She has good AP scalings, and you can just W spam because he has Mirror Mana. And it allows you to dive the backline. If something like Annie turns on you and wants to full combo you, you just hit the no, you can't kill me button. You know, so I like the build from Slave so far.
Yeah, and I'm looking to see ATG sort of clear out some, come back in now, just before the Dragon, play for the next Dragon or play for the next Baron. I mean, they can technically get both. The timers are a little bit off, are off by about a minute or by about 40 seconds, so they can look to get both. Your Urgot is TP down, so him playing on this bot side is a really good idea as well. Forces a Fiora to be close to the objective, so you don't have to walk too far, and they don't have a TP advantage. So what ATG are doing at the moment, in my opinion, is a good idea. I'm actually talking complete nonsense right now because Baron's up before Dragon. So
yeah, Baron's going to be up in about a minute 50.
yeah, but they should swap the Urgot.
Yeah.
top lane.
Yeah, what is the timer on Sunbay's TP though?
Ooh,
Oh, I'm fighting bot lane.
I don't know if he can 1v1 the Urgot. Is looking to see Urgot using the
Yeah,
wall advantage, and
all
that's
got right now. Is he gonna try and snipe him? Oh, or is he not low enough? Okay.
and he does manage to get onto the LeBlanc. The LeBlanc's burning, but she's gonna survive.
Okay,
This
just a
Annie
heal
is
out there.
scary, man.
The Annie is scary, but it has to be said, right? Tibbers burned. The Grand Challenge burnt in bot lane. Stormbringer from Volibear burnt, and Solar Flare burnt. So 4 ultimates was just burned, and they didn't really get anything. They got the heal out of Slave, and that's about it. So now this fight heavily favors ATG if everyone is actually there.
More importantly for me, the Annie's flash was burned. Like, I thought if anything, you'd want to save your flash and your ghost for the Baron, for the next fight,
Yeah.
so you can get on top of Slave. Whereas now
Yeah.
Slave doesn't need to worry about the Annie. Ooh, Annie ghosting in, looking to see if she can find flexion. Does almost get hit by the Dreadline. Really does come out. Depth charge comes out. Lucian chasing after Zamalek. Zamalek getting taken out to half HP. Bishop getting
Bishop
taken
taking
on
a
half
lot.
HP. Cullen comes out.
Ooh,
Any cooldowns
Sunbay
there?
is flanking.
Ooh,
Oh, he
Sunday.
dives!
Does he manage to get him? The deflection looking.
The
Maybe on death does go through. Jungler does go down for ATG, and that might not be a good thing just before these 2 objectives do spawn.
Yeah, and now it's the reverse again. Like a lot of ults was burnt there again from the side of ATG. You know, you have depth charge being burnt. You have whatever a Kai'Sa's ult is called, Killer Instinct being burnt, and Fear Beyond Death being burnt. So, you know, this fight is gonna be pretty strange for ATG. But if Era Lost Time can wait a little bit and stall this out a bit, they will have all of their ults up again.
Lucian in the pits. Did dash back up the wall. Annie was forced to go back. Stardust did have to go get some mana, so they are going to be able to stall this out a little bit. I'm interested why they didn't immediately just rush the Baron. But we do see a fight breaking out between the 2. Ares getting taken down very low.
Oh,
He managed to get
Lost
the
Time got
Dragon
it.
Meanwhile, Fear Beyond Death does come
Oh,
through, landing
big
a 5-man Fear, or 4-man Fear, sorry. Lucian getting taken down really low. The Tibbers does come out. They do manage to get one.
Slave?
Slave's GA has been popped in, and he is still alive. Stardust stacking up, doesn't manage to get the kill.
He gets him.
Popping off massive
Holy.
fight, and that's the ace.
And
To be-
that's GG, I just think. I think they could just push, probably, no?
Yeah, Slave's still up. I think this is game.
That was a massive fear beyond death from Away Sun Bear and just ruining the day of Era Lost Time. And once again, if they manage to end this, we see another close 1-1 series. And, you know, it just shows that these teams are very, very close to each other. That is... yeah, that's just GG. Holy.
That's going to be ATG taking the second game of the series. Aries is going to do what he can, but I don't see him stopping anything. And that's going to be the second game going across over to ATG. Era picking up the first game. Whew.
Yeah, Era Lost Time winning game 1. And then game 2 goes over to the side of ATG 0. And have to be said, very, very well played. Game 1, you know, it was all about, for me, Stardust and Boba Sagan doing a lot of work. But this game, all about, I don't care about Slave. Zamalek, the Chad, you know, was just hooking people left, right, center. No, but it has to be said, very well played from ATG. Like, all of them, you saw they were very composed at that dragon fight. They didn't even get the dragon. But it's Sunbay keeping his head, getting a huge fear beyond death. Slave and all of them just, like, grouping on top of each other, which might not have been great. But at the end, very, very well played from the side of ATG. And actually, both teams at the end of the day since they end 1-1.
Yeah, and I feel like it must be said for me, my player of the series must go over to what is his name?
Stardust.
Stardust, yeah. 100%.
Yeah, Stardust, 100%.
Played really, really well in both games. Not as impactful potentially in the first game as much as he was in this Annie game, but he definitely played really, really well. Apparently, we will be getting in one of the players for the first game.
Yes. Okay, perfect. But yeah, very, very well played. For me, Stardust also played, just both games he was very consistent. His team fighting was like out of this world. I feel like he played very, very well, and I think that's very good. And I like Slave's build at the end, you know, not losing to Shopkeeper. That's good. But yeah, overall, it just has to be said, well done to both teams, and you can't really scoff at the way either of these teams played. They played very well.
Yeah, all considering, I think, like I said, the one thing I really do enjoy seeing, and I said this to you before, is South African League of Legends does have a tendency when it comes to the higher bracket or the higher tier team, they tend to play not to lose. They don't play like with it all out on the table. It's not we have two teams that are going hard at it, playing to win the game. I do feel like it always tends to be like very tentative, slow games. Whereas you play with these lower teams and they just don't care. They throw everything in the kitchen sink at the fight. You see people like the Annie blowing a flash early before a fight, and snipe out the LeBlanc, or like the games are just so intense. It's actually incredibly hard to cast. Like in these fights, I don't know what is going on. I'm trying to focus on the dragon. Meanwhile, someone else is chasing someone else at the back of the fight, and we obviously can't show off directed camera because we want to cast what you guys are seeing. But wow, the games are so intense and so much fun.
Yeah, no, it has said it is a lot of fun. Usually, like you said, in top games, it's a lot more measured. There's not a lot of fighting. It is macro. It's a lot of rotations, a lot of like posturing for position around objectives. And when it comes to like these teams that are not scared of anything, they're like, listen, if I see you, you're dead, and I'm gonna fight you. You know, so yeah, it's just intense, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. But okay, so just to be, I think we have Zamalek. Is that you?
Yeah, going boys.
How's it, Zamalek? So for everyone, this is the Chad gamer Zamalek who just played the Nautilus for ATG. Welcome and well done on that previous game. How did it feel?
Sure, man. Yeah, it felt a hell of a lot better than the first game. Stuff kind of clicked into place a bit more. I think lack of a warm-up game was a bit of an issue. But yeah, it felt a lot smoother in the second game.
Oh, dude, it must have felt really good just being such an absolute unit in that second game, man. Like, felt like you just used Dredgeline every single time it came off cooldown.
Yeah, that's what I like to do. It's actually quite a treat. I'm not normally allowed to play it because it's always banned. So when it's
Oh.
up, it's gonna be picked. Yeah, it's nice getting to play an aggressive bot lane. But you got to get that Morgana off the table, otherwise it's not so much fun.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And Bishop's Morgana was pretty good. Have to give that to him, especially in game 1. But you know, it
Yeah.
just felt like game 2. You guys came out. You're like, listen, we're not just gonna roll over and die. Okay, we go with a plan. Let's get bot lane ahead. Pick them something aggressive they can fight with, right? And you saw Era last time doing the same thing. They're like, cool, you want to fight, we want to fight too. We pick Leona, we pick Lucian. And then it's like, okay, cool, let's chat it out bot lane. And at the end of the day, you know, the bigger Chad won in bot lane.
Yeah, it is interesting how it pivoted in the second game. We're actually expecting that we're going to go again for more of a scaling comp. We're always happy to fight.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
come to think about it, I actually remembered I was really hard stuck because I totally thought they had swapped you out in the first game. Like I was like, who's this new player? I didn't even know. And then I remembered actually now thinking about it, even when you guys were playing Soraka in the first game, you guys were still playing quite aggressively.
Yeah.
'Cause I still remember looking at Caitlyn being like, "Oh, why is this guy on 300 HP every single fight?"
Yeah, I mean, if the pressure's there to be had, then we're always going to try push for it. You know, like the ebb and flow of the map, you gotta push where you can.
Yeah.
If you know the jungler's not there, take advantage of it, all that good stuff.
No, 100%.
Soraka is still kind of a new thing though.
No worries, but something I really am curious about now, Zamalek, I don't know if you name change or something, but who, if you did name change, what was your name previously, and if you didn't, what team did you play for before you came to play for ATG 0?
Yeah, I used to be called Stinky Bean, but I only
Okay.
started playing VS like end of last year ish. I was playing with Raven and Young Zink
Oh.
and those guys for a little bit.
Okay.
But that team kind of dissolved, and then yeah, I joined Zero in the first bit of this year.
Oh, nice. And you took over from a guy that I had the privilege of knowing very well, Snewman69. Great name.
Yeah.
But coming in and playing with Slave, I know he dabbled a little bit in mid lane this year, but coming and playing with him, he's a very dominant person in lane and a dominant personality. But how does it come, you know, coming into that core of players of Away Sunbear, Flexion, and Slave?
Yeah, I like it. I think we've got some good synergies going. We've been a little bit out of practice now. What was I gonna say? Yeah, just because everyone's been away, we've had like Oaks away for a week here, a week there, you know, with lockdown restrictions being a bit lifted or whatever. But it's lacquer. I think Slave and I synergize quite well. We've got a similar mindset when it comes to lane and post lane. We sometimes our aggression is our biggest downfall, but
Yep.
we just got to play to our strengths.
No, perfect.
Yeah.
Alex, do you have another question?
I was gonna just ask, you know, obviously you guys have faced against Evo. We don't want to hop on about that game. That
No
it went
worries.
through. But looking forward, you guys still have to play GG Black and Royalty Esports. But the one game I more want to focus on is just the game between you guys and GG Black. After seeing how aggressive you guys played in this game, are you guys confident playing against them? Because I mean, they do have quite a new bot lane, and I think Strider did look a little bit uncomfortable in the last game we cast. So it is potential that you guys could have a stronger bot lane. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think they played at their full potential. But are you guys confident going into that matchup?
Yeah, I mean every game we go into, we try to maintain a certain level of confidence, regardless of who we're playing against, just for the mindset. But yeah, I think bot lane it should be a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, 100%.
I think the biggest thing we're going to be focusing on is just team comps, making sure we've got a clear mindset going into the game and not just kind of like a mix of comfort picks and counter picks, you know, because that does tend to happen sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. It's yeah, I just want to say thank you for coming for the post game. We really appreciate it. very well played to 2 games. Or very well played both teams today. It does go 1-1, and now Group B is just heating up even more. So Ari,
Yep.
thank you, or Zamalek, thank you for coming in, and
No worries.
then yeah, you can go. Thank you, man.
Oh yeah, sure, man. And thank you guys. Doing great work for the scene. So nice to have all this infrastructure set up. Oh, wait.
Oh, that's so nice to hear.
Lacquer. Cheers, boys. Have a
Cheers,
good
man.
one.
Awesome. So that was
Cool.
quite exciting. So
That exciting 2 games. I hope our next game can live up to this hype. Can live up to these types of games, because I'm enjoying casting this right now. It's kind of
And
sucks that there's no third game.
talking about our next game, we will have a face-off between Ego Team Ferocity and the sister team for the team that we just, or I suppose maybe the brother team for the team that we just asked for, Era
The
Millennium.
other team.
Their
Yeah.
other team. We have been told that they're not the first team, but they are definitely the stronger team, and they are the
Yeah.
team that I've honestly been really excited to watch a game of, because they're one of my like all-time favorites. They've been around for a really
Definitely.
long time. So casting a game, watching the new-ish roster for Era, I think I'm really excited to watch that. That's going to happen on Thursday at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Era Millennium, we haven't been able to cast a game of them yet, so I'm excited to see, what they're gonna pull out. So, I think we're just gonna sign off here. I don't know, Alex, is there something else you want to talk about, maybe? Not. Okay, so thanks everyone for watching. We really appreciate it. Thank you for coming in here and chilling with us and watching some fantastic League of Legends. Send all your love to the people that played tonight. And yeah, thank you all for being here.
Peace.
Peace out.